Sporting a roster of just 23 young men, the Lyman Eagles certainly aren't the largest 2A program. The numbers might be small, but hope is in bloom as they try to earn a playoff bid after a 2-year drought. Under 8th-year head coach Dale Anderson, this band of brothers is out to make their mark on the 2019 season. Lyman football is live for another year on MyLocalRadio.com as their exclusive video broadcast partner. Catch the action live and online throughout the regular and postseason right here or with the radio simulcast on KNYN 99.1 FM. With the countdown to the opening kick hitting 0 at the top of the hour, let's head to the MyLocalRadio.com broadcast booth to hear from the voice of the Eagles, Jake Hibbard.
Tick-tock goes the clock on every life. No rest, no pain, I'm in overdrive. Get your beauty sleep, kick up your feet, I waste it all. Me, I'm not stopping, I'm not dropping.
In week 1 of the 2A football season, Lyman defeated Pinedale 20-12 in a 4-quarter thriller to go to 1-0 in the conference schedule. With a front-loaded schedule, week 2 brings another conference foe into Lyman with the Kemmerer Rangers looking to get a victory to start their conference season off in their first opportunity. 2-0 puts Lyman in the driver's seat for their playoff push in 2019, but the Rangers won't be laying down in this one. Jake Hibbard joining you just after the noon whistle for a premier Week 2 contest. Pre-game coverage when we return on this First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com. For nearly 45 years, Yeager's Auto Body in Green River has been among the most trusted businesses in southwest Wyoming and beyond. There's a reason why the biggest auto dealers in the area trust their vehicles to Yeager's Auto Body. Owner Justin Yeager and his staff are experts in their field and will deliver on your vehicle's needs. So the next time your car is in need of repair, go see the best at Yeager's Auto Body in Green River at 360 West Flaming Gorge Way, or give them a call at 307-875-2448. Yeager's Auto Body in Green River, proud sponsors of Mountain View and Lyman High School sports. River has been among the
Welcome back to the Yeager's Auto Body pregame show live from Lyman, Wyoming, where coming up we'll take our first look of tonight's contest, Lyman versus Kemmerer. Lyman is 1-0 in the conference season after defeating Pinedale a week ago, whereas Kemmerer opened up their season against the Riverton JV, that coming in a loss. This is their first conference meeting in the season. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at some of the numbers and break down tonight's matchup on this portion of the Yeager's Auto Body pregame show, live on a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com with the simulcast on KNYN 99.1 FM.
As one of the region's most visited websites, MyLocalRadio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Stream your favorite music all day, every day, or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit MyLocalRadio.com today to stream it all live.
Welcome into Lyman High School for week 2 of the season, our first broadcast of the Eagles of the year. However, they have already started off the year 1-0 after a 20-12 thrilling victory against Pinedale. It was certainly not mistake-free football as Lyman turned the ball over on 3 interceptions. However, a goal line stand that started at 1st and 10 for Pinedale, 10 yards away from pay dirt, resulted in a loss of yardage on 2nd down as well, a sack on 3rd down that sets up 4th down, which the ball was intercepted at the 10-yard line. And then Lyman was able to run the clock out this final 7 minutes of the way and come away with a victory. And if you take a look at the schedule for both these teams in the contest, Kemmerer and Lyman, this really is one of those games that whoever comes away victorious got away with one that's very crucial early in the season, and whoever loses is going to look back and say, if only we could have got this, because only the top 4 of 7 teams in the 2A West will make a playoff berth, and there's a lot of room, but there's going to be a lot of shuffling throughout the year, we anticipate, and a lot of bullying, and you got to win those games when you get them, and you get the chance to, and this is a game for both teams today a good chance for both of them. Kemmerer lost 36-6 against the Riverton JV last Thursday, and that is a game that really means nothing outside of if there's a tiebreaker, it could maybe come down to that. But on the conference schedule, their season starts today. Lyman at 1-0 with that 20-12 victory. The rest of the way for them, conference-wise, they get a break next week as they go to Cokeville, but then are back in it as they take on Lovell on the road. And then another break with a Thursday contest against the Star Valley JV, much like what Kemmerer had earlier on last week. Then it's Mountain View, Grable, Big Piney to end off the season. And there's a good side and a bad side to getting conference games early on in the year. The bad side is you guys are rusty. They're maybe not as crisp as they are week 4, week 5. The good side is, especially for a team like both Kemmerer and Lyman, with 23 men apiece on their roster, they're pretty healthy. For Lyman, right now, Hunter Gines, a big senior, is out for them with a broken thumb, and he is out again this week. That's definitely hurting this program, but outside of that, health is looking pretty good for both Kemmerer and Lyman. We've got a great contest here. Kickoff scheduled for 1 p.m. Let's take a look around the rest of 2A for some other contests happening in this week, too. Burns is at Moorcroft over at on the east side of the state at 6 p.m. And at 2 p.m., Mountain View is at Big Piney for a contest. Newcastle is at Glen Rock. That's another east side game at 6 o'clock. And Thermopolis, they get to go on the road to take on the 1-0 Buffalo Bison, who disposed of Douglas last week 29-26 after going up 20-7 over the 3A Douglas Bearcats. Interstate rivalry or interstate contests happening today. Nothing at the 2A level. Got some 3A contests in Torrington, Star Valley, and Douglas all going on to take teams from out of state. And then interclass, nothing on the 2A level as well. So that's what we've got for you today. We will take a break and now come back with more pregame coverage on this Yeager's Auto Body pregame show. This is a First Bank presentation of Lyman football live on mylocalradio.com with the simulcast on K9 Radio 99.1.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. I perform total hip, total knee, and total shoulder replacement. The huge majority of patients of mine that have undergone total joint replacement have been dealing with pain and disability for many years. After joint replacement and recovery, patients are back to doing the activities that they want to do.
The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio is back for another year with a bit of a twist. Join me, Jake Hibbard, as I transition from covering Evanston and becoming the voice of the Mountain View Buffs and Lyman Eagles. I'll be live every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. with news, analysis, and guests as we focus on the Bridger Valley and beyond. We'll cover the happenings around the area and across the state landscape. We would also like to welcome onto the show as a regular this year, Dennis Lynch of Auto Farm Chevrolet. Join us every Wednesday on KNY and 99.1 FM in the Evanston listening area for the Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. If you can't catch it then, don't worry. We'll post all the episodes up to mylocalradio.com, or you can also find it by searching and subscribing to the Wyoming Prep Podcast on iTunes or Google Play. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio, presented by Auto Farm Chevrolet, every Wednesday, August through March on KNY and 99.1 FM in Evanston, or online anytime at mylocalradio.com, or of course at the Wyoming Prep Podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. Come join in on the fun. Welcome back to the Yeager's Auto Body pregame show here in Lyman, Wyoming, as we set up for the Kemmerer Rangers versus the Lyman Eagles. Yeager's Auto Body in Green River is among the most trusted shops in all of southwest Wyoming and beyond, and there's a reason why the biggest auto dealers in the area trust their vehicles to Yeager's Auto Body. Give them a call at 307-875-2448 or go see them at 360 West Flaming Gorge Way in Green River. As we continue the Jaegers Auto Body pregame show in this contest, we'll move along next by getting a look around the valley as we talk to Brescia Hansen, head coach of the Lyman volleyball program. Both Lyman and Mountain View are at a 3A state preview in a sense, as the Rollins Invitational has all 3A programs from both sides of the state in attendance and playing in pool play today with gold and silver bracket tomorrow. We'll be back with the volleyball teams on Saturday as we'll head over to Rollins tomorrow and catch some of those contests on mylocalradio.com. But when we come back, we'll catch up at length with Coach Brescia Hansen of the Lyman Eagles, get her thoughts on this tournament and the season as it's been so far. You're listening to a First Bank presentation of Lyman Eagles football live and online at mylocalradio.com with the video coverage and the radio simulcast on KNY 99.1 FM.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
Brescia Hansen with me for another week, the Lyman head volleyball coach. We are 2 tournaments in, and you have had such long schedules. First, the Cokeville invite, and what makes that so long is it's best out of 5. The next week, most recently, you were at the Border Wars, and what makes that so long is you played 8 matches, I believe, over the course of 2 days. Tell me about your run through that tournament where you went 6-2.
The Border Wars tournament is an interesting tournament because we play teams that we have no idea anything about them. So we kind of have to try to pick up tendencies and look for things on the fly because we just don't know who our opponents are. So it's kind of nice to play some teams that I guess it doesn't matter if we win or lose. Of course, we're always trying to win, but it's not like we're trying to get a mental edge for when we play them the next time or anything like that. I have given my kids 2 Mondays in a row off of practice just to try to recover from those long weekends. You get banged up and kids get tired, and I want them to be hungry to get in the gym. So tonight, Tuesday at practice, will be the first night that we're back in the gym after the Border Wars.
Let me know a little bit about how you do approach that with those teams that you're not going to see again, especially the Border Wars. You don't see Utah again. Are there positives to that you don't have to worry about? Are they going to be able to adjust to us because they're not going to worry about it? Are there, how does it work when you're like, we're not going to see any of these teams the rest of the year for that whole weekend to play?
I mean, it's sort of similar to state. I mean, I get a look at all of the 3A teams at the Rollins tournament, but we end up matched against a team like Torrington sometimes or Wheatland, and I know very little about them. So it's good for my kids to be unfamiliar with the other side of the court and for them to have to tune in, figure out who their setter is, who their hitters are, and try to look for tendencies and weaknesses in the other team. I think that's a little bit of good training for teams that we don't see a ton that we might play at state.
As the season does progress on, like you said, we'll get into Rollins a little bit later as far as you're going to see everyone in 3A. But as that season progresses, do you do any sort of tendency study with the team of when you're getting ready to play conference opponents or anything like that? What goes in outside of your practice, focusing on your team into a conference year as that week of preparation?
Absolutely. Especially teams that are in our same conference, we know who they are and what tendencies we have, and in practice we try to prepare for that, which is kind of difficult sometimes if we're trying to track one good hitter around. I mean, for example, Pinedale has a very exceptional player, and when we play them, we will know that we'll need to attempt to stop or slow her down in order to kind of contain them. So yeah, we look for tendencies in other teams and talk about that and try to rep that in practice.
This Rollins tournament has every 3A team that you could see throughout the rest of the season all in one spot, and you're going to play a good majority of them throughout the weekend. What does that do when you see them 3 weeks into the season as opposed to then you are not going to see them maybe until November? Even though there's so much growth, what does that do for you early on? I
mean, I always try to watch every team and kind of, write down some notes about them so I have an idea, because a lot of the teams, like you said, we won't see them again. But I try to get somewhat familiar with them, although they could be we hope to improve by the end of the season. So my notes might not be accurate come November, but I do try to become familiar with all the teams that are there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what I'm getting at, is that you're not going to see these teams again. If you do see, like, because there's half the teams make it to state, so that you don't know which teams that are going to be making it to state that you'll see. But if you do, you get that first look. But have you ever had that at maybe a Rollins tournament or somewhere else, and you get into a state tournament in November, and you see that team warming up, and you're like, that's not what I was scouting from a month or two ago?
Yeah, I mean, I try to scout positions who their setter is, and so we can track her, and who their big hitters are. And most teams follow suit with that. There has occasionally been a big switch up where people are totally not even in the positions, but for the most part, teams hold true. And that Rollins tournament is kind of unique. There's a little bit of a, legend floating around out there that if you win the Rollins tournament, you won't win state. And last year my team won the Rollins tournament, and I was like, oh dear. My boss was telling me, don't win that tournament because never know what'll happen. And of course, I guess we broke that curse last year, but it is a great tournament because everybody's there.
I'm excited to go out and be able to see all of the 3A teams when I get out there on Saturday. We have an interesting scoring system with it, though. It goes quick on Friday. Is it just split sets that you're dealing with?
Yeah, it's 2 sets to 21, and man, those can stack up quick. So if you get a slow start or you get stuck in a rotation, you're dead in the water, and they go by total points, I believe. And so all those points that you win and or give away really matter. So, there's good and bad to it, but I think the good of it is it makes your kids have to play. They don't have any time to waste.
For lack of a better term, a lot of times early on in the season, I see coaches kind of like taking that wheel, that rotation wheel, and just like spinning it sometimes in a tournament time when you're going to play so many games to say, hey, does this work? Does this work? Trying to find something that keeps you. Sometimes you can shuffle players around and have all the same players on the court, but because the rotation's a little bit different, it works, whereas opposed to that last one did not. Did you do any of that in Evanston?
I haven't. This team that I have right now, we have all new players on the varsity team. It's my JV team, and they didn't lose last year. So I think I would be real crazy to do anything too dramatic positions-wise. We were pretty traditional with where we started and kind of stuck with that for the most part. We would sometimes start in rotation 4, rotation, whatever, just to do things different. But we've been sticking with it, and with a record of 9-4 this early on with a whole new team, I don't see any reason to shake things up too much.
Where have you seen your team grow in 13 matches of varsity experience now?
I've seen us grow just with the speed of the game. Balls are being hit at kids faster, so we're trying to adapt to that on defense. And then blocking has been a struggle for us as well. And so I hope to see, from Cokeville to Evanston, I saw some growth in our blocking, but we need a lot more work with getting to hitters and being fast.
That's head coach Brescia Hansen of the Lyman volleyball team. You can catch those games this Saturday from the Rollins Invite on mylocalradio.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate Brescia Hansen joining us for the look around the valley. Again, we will be with the Lyman Eagles volleyball program tomorrow on mylocalradio.com. You can watch us right there with the Rollins Invitational bracket play, whether that's the silver or gold bracket. All the games should be in the same gymnasium, so we should be able to bring you a couple of those tomorrow. Just keep watching us on Facebook, our mylocalradio.com Facebook page, or you can catch up with us on either one of the fan pages for Mountain View or Lyman for more information on game times for that broadcast. This is the Jaegers Auto Body pregame show for Lyman football, and we will be back after this on this First Bank presentation on mylocalradio.com with the simulcast at KNY and 99.9.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at Westar Printing design your business cards. Now with same-day and next-day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. Westar Printing, 307-789-5202.
Welcome back to the Yeager's Auto Body pregame show, live and online at mylocalradio.com with the simulcast on K9 Radio 99.1 FM in Evanston. And when we come back, we will start the Coaches Show portion as we lead up to kickoff today. First, we will hear from the head coach of the Kemmerer Rangers, Bart Jernigan. And after that, we'll hear from your Lyman Eagles head man, Dale Anderson, as we close it out. This is the Yeager's Auto Body pregame show on a First Bank presentation of Lyman Eagles football on K9 Radio and online at mylocalradio.com.
For nearly 45 years, Yeager's Auto Body in Green River has been among the most trusted businesses in southwest Wyoming and beyond. There's a reason why the biggest auto dealers in the area trust their vehicles to Yeager's Auto Body. Owner Justin Yeager and his staff are experts in their field and will deliver on your vehicle's needs. So the next time your car is in need of repair, go see the best at Yeager's Auto Body in Green River at 360 West Flaming Gorge Way, or give them a call at 307-875-2448. Yeager's Auto Body in Green River, proud sponsors of Mountain View and Lyman High School sports.
I've got Bart Jernigan with me, head coach of the Kemmerer Rangers. You had a 0-week contest where you took on the Riverton program, the JV program, on a Thursday night before. I know it's not a whole lot, but did that allow maybe going into the first week a little bit more time for you to prepare into a contest that now does count in the conference standings?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The not having to jump into conference games immediately like Lyman and Pinedale did last week is a huge benefit to us. It gives us kind of some extra buffer, extra cushion around that game, gives us an opportunity to be a little bit more experimental in that game, to try some different things out that we want to know whether they'll work for later in the season. So, it's a big advantage in my eye for us to have that week one contest against a non-conference opponent. Despite it not going our way, we definitely felt like we took a lot from the game. I was proud of our kids' effort. I was proud of the attitude that they displayed, and hopefully we'll clean up some of the execution that'll take us over the top.
You don't get a whole lot of Fridays off in the fall season, so how did that work for you and your team? Was it the day off? Was it practice? What did you do?
So we played on Thursday night, like you said, and it allowed us to get over to scout out actually Lyman and Pinedale. They're our next two opponents, so we were able to watch both of them play live, which is always good. You of course get your film, but it's good to see things live. It helps you understand kind of their pace of play, also their personnel, their numbers, and whatnot. So that was helpful, definitely, to catch that. And then we came back and we had a pretty good practice just to kind of work a little bit of the soreness out and to review some of the things that we saw in game film to hopefully prepare us for the next week. And we got a couple of notes that we were able to observe from Lyman that we were able to share with the team and in preparation for this coming week's contest too. So that was good.
Yeah, that's a positive of 1 o'clock kickoff for Lyman. You can go scout them, and then you can get back and still have time to hold a practice. As you are moving into this season, tell me a little bit about what you're trying to get working with this Kemmerer program that, like Lyman, the numbers aren't huge. You got 24 guys out, and you told me that you've got a certain amount of number of guys that you really feel comfortable getting out on that varsity field. So obviously conditioning's got to be at the top of the list, but what else are you trying to implement early on in the season to get this program going?
Just for us, we're trying to implement a strong running game, a mindset of ball control, of chewing up clock and chewing up yardage, and possessing it. We want to be able to dictate the pace, and that typically happens in a football game when you have the ball in your hands. So that's a big point of emphasis for us, is just making sure that we're clean up front in our offensive line play, making sure that we run physical. We're not quite 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but we might be 4 yards in a cloud of dust a lot of time, and that's okay with us, and that's part of our identity. We definitely try to thrive off that blue collar identity that typifies so many of the fields of labor around here, whether it be the miners or the oil fields or the ranchers. So that kind of identity is huge for us. Beyond that, just establishing, a defensive physicality and toughness in tackling that is apparent to our opponents. We want to play physical for 48 minutes, and we want to wear on them. We don't necessarily care if you're bigger, faster, or stronger. We're going to be getting after you for 48 minutes. And so that's something that we are trying to build, that ethos within our boys, and that reputation throughout the league. We're trying to just, elevate Kemmerer football a little bit. We want to get back into the playoffs, but we'd like to make a little bit more noise this year than going out to the eventual champions. So that's kind of our program goals, and these first few weeks, establishing defense, tackling well is going to be a big part of it, and then the physical run game is going to be a huge part of that as well.
Well, when you were scouting Lyman and Pinedale, although it comes in a little bit of a different setup than what you have, you probably saw a lot of similar style of play when you say establish the run, whether it's out of the shotgun or under center.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Anderson does a great job over there, and his teams are always so physical. It's fun to see the different formations that they'll come out in, because at the end of the day, it's still smash mouth. He lines his kids up and gets them in good positions every time, but it's still basically the same brand of physical football. And that's what I grew up with, and that's the kind of mentality that I think in this area, when you're struggling for kids and maybe not getting as many kids out, I think that's something you can kind of hang your hat on and build a program around in the long run. So that's kind of where we're looking for and what we'd like to see out of it. And I know that both Pinedale and Lyman, well, struggling with numbers, are trying to hang their hat on that simple identity of just simple, hard-nosed, physical football, and it'll win you some games. We've been able to turn some things around, and it's definitely helped to have athletes, but a simple brand of football makes that process a little bit quicker.
That's head coach Bart Jernigan for the Kemmerer Rangers. Good luck, coach, as you go throughout this season.
I appreciate you. Thanks so much for the time.
We're closing in ever closer to today's kickoff at Lyman High School. And when we come back, we will continue the Coach's Show portion of this Jaegers Auto Body pregame program. Dale Anderson, head coach of the Lyman Eagles, in just a bit. This is a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on My Local Radio.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
Are you ready to kick off the home season of the Lyman Eagles football year? Well, we're just about there, and when we come back, we will close out the Jaegers Auto Body pregame show by hearing from Dale Anderson, head coach of the Lyman Eagles, right after this. With MyLocalRadio.com, you get to stay up to date with Lyman and Mountain View sports by watching all of the games live in the convenience of your own home. Now you get to keep up with your coaches, athletes, and teachers throughout the week with the Bridger Valley Coaches Corner. Weekdays during the school year, the Bridger Valley Coaches Corner will run on KNYN 99.1 FM at 3 p.m. and keep you up to date with the most interesting storylines from Lyman and Mountain View in football, volleyball, basketball, swimming, running, golf, and more. We'll also check in with different students and teachers from the 2 schools throughout the year. 3 p.m. Monday through Friday on KNYN 99.1 FM is the Bridger Valley Coaches Show presented by MyLocalRadio.com. Stay connected.
It's important to feel like you belong. At Trona Valley Federal Credit Union, we understand the value of connection. When you become a member, you join our family. You become an owner of a not-for-profit financial organization, and your success becomes our success. We give back to our members by offering lower loan rates, fewer fees, higher yields, and more products and services. Become a member of Trona Valley Federal Credit Union today, and let's work together to reach your financial goals. We're a caring partner here for you. Member NCUA.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Dale Anderson with me, head coach of the Lyman Eagles after a 1-0 conference start. Let's start right there. How difficult was it to go out and know that this game counted right out of the gates as you prepped just a couple of weeks into practice?
Well, that it's a big, important game for us right out of the gate. So those are always, pretty intense and pretty stressful. But I thought our kids responded really well and played a good game.
20-12 was the final, and it was an exciting game. If you were watching and if you were a fan of either side, there was a lot of moments where you thought, oh no, here it goes, we're going to lose it on this. A couple of interceptions early could have really hurt you, but it seemed like your defense responded pretty well in those situations.
Yeah, we were real happy with their response to that. We've got to not put ourselves in those positions. That's one of the keys, and then a couple of breakdowns defensively led to two of their two scores. So we got to clean that up a little too.
You got a new starting quarterback in Carter Smith coming in, and I think he did have 3 interceptions. He did a lot of nice things as well, scored a couple of touchdowns for you and ran that offense. But it seemed like a lot of those interceptions maybe came down to a little bit of early season, not completely going through and reading that defense and having a guy kind of hide and come out of nowhere and get that pick.
Yeah, we've been working on those things, and I was real happy with him the other night. Though he responded real well after a couple of those picks, and he ended up completing, I think our stat person said 6 or 7 in a row after that, which, that's huge. You like a quarterback that can just shake it off and keep playing and not dwell on those mistakes.
You had an interesting offense, not new necessarily, but it was a new quarterback. Your old quarterback's now your running back, and so they were kind of going back and forth, and then you had 3 or 4 times when I was watching the broadcast, you fooled the broadcast guy when you handed it off and then handed it off again, and that worked to fool Pinedale on a couple of good breakouts in important situations as well.
Well, that we want to try to keep building on that counter game a little, and it helps keep defenses honest, and if that's kind of that component. So we're glad that worked out for us. It put us in a couple of really good situations on scoring drives.
Pinedale got the ball at their 10-yard line as we were getting down to the fourth quarter, 9 minutes or so, something like that, maybe 8 minutes. 1st and goal, and then it's a loss, and a sack, and then an interception. How's that for a goal line stand?
You like that? Back them up, because that was a point in the game where, they had scored on that big pass right before that, and it kind of had us on the ropes when we had some momentum before that. So they had some momentum, but our defense did a great job of stepping up and changing that, swinging it back to our favor.
After that, you had to run about, I think it was 7 minutes, and I don't have the exact 7 minutes, maybe 10 seconds worth of clock, and that was a few 3rd down conversions as well. And you did not throw the ball that entire drive. It was all runs that I had marked down, including a 9-yard run by Carter on 3rd and 7 that really kind of then forced them to start taking the timeouts.
Yeah, there was one pass that the receiver and the quarterback decided to throw because the guy covering had cheated off, but that wasn't my call. But they completed it, and it kept the ball moving. That was a great tribute really to our linemen on that, because we rely heavily on those guys in those situations, and to be able to run the last 7 minutes out on a clock, that's tough to do, and I was really proud of the way our kids responded in that situation. As
you move forward to Kemmerer, it's a team that you were able to take the team and see on Thursday because it was a day early match before yours. What did you see for your opponent in conference matchup number 2 already of the season?
Now, they're tough kids. mean, they're scrappy. They're not real big, but man, they play hard, and so we'll have our work cut out for us again this week. It'll be the same type of game, I think, that'll come down to 2 or 3 plays, and whichever way they sway, that could determine the outcome. But they're a tough team.
This happens with you sometimes. What's there, 5 conference matchups in a season, and you're going to be 40% of the way through those 2 weeks in?
Yeah, you don't always like the way, front loaded with conference stuff, but we're still relatively healthy now, which helps in conference games. You never know where you're going to be, at the tail end of the season with the grind of the season. So we'll play them when we got to play them. Those games come when they come, and you just prepare and go after it.
How's the spirits of the team as they're one of the only teams in the state with a 1-0 conference record?
It's always good to win, and we'll take them when we can. And the kids have been, you try to remind them we got a lot of work to do still, and we got to keep plugging away and getting better. But it's always nice to get that win just to help the excitement.
Dale Anderson, head coach of the Lyman Eagles football program. Thank you very much, and good luck.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
This has been the Jaegers Auto Body pregame show, and that was Dale Anderson of the Lyman Eagles. Starting lineups and kickoff of today's contest when we return. This is a First Bank presentation of Lyman Eagles football, live and online, with the video broadcast at mylocalradio.com and on the radio at KNYN 99.1.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
We know that when you think of Plains Tire in Evanston, you always think
the Tire Professionals.
Quality customer service. They're friendly with great prices.
I really like Plains Tire in Evanston.
But did you also know that the team at Plains Tire offers oil changes, windshield wiper checks, and free alignment checks? That's right, free alignment checks. We don't want you to quit thinking all those great things when you hear Plains Tire. We just want you to add to the list. Plains Tire, the tire professionals. Stop in today, 157 Bear River Drive.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on mylocalradio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live.
For nearly 45 years, Jaegers Auto Body in Green River has been among the most trusted businesses in southwest Wyoming and beyond. There's a reason why the biggest auto dealers in the area trust their vehicles to Jaegers Auto Body. Owner Justin Jaeger and his staff are experts in their field and will deliver on your vehicle's needs. So the next time your car is in need of repair, go see the best at Jaegers Auto Body in Green River at 360 West Flaming Gorge Way, or give them a call at 307-875-2448. Jaegers Auto Body in Green River, proud sponsors of Mountain View and Lyman High School sports. Just about ready for the opening kickoff here at Lyman High School. 1:26 on the clock, it says, before the top of the hour. And the opening kickoff will be preempted by the coin toss, which in a lot of games is right before kickoff. It's a little bit of an adjustment for me coming over from a school where they usually did this about 20 minutes beforehand. But out at center field right now, 4 captains for Lyman and 4 captains for Kemmerer getting ready to do that. Matt Wolford, one of the captains out there, along with Richie Brewer, Hagen Lamoureux, and Blake Palmer for Lyman. And for the Kemmerer captains, it is Brendan Miller, A.Q. Martinez, Coulter Julian, and Aaron Ortiz. The 4 captains out there. Coin toss of the man in the white hat to the left of both teams. Standing in the center is up in the air. It appears, Lyman's coin toss victory. And Lyman signaling that they will start on the south end zone side, heading towards the north, going from right to left. And Lyman did win the toss. They have elected to receive. And that allows us to now give you our starters. Let's start with the Lyman offense. At quarterback, Carter Smith, a 5'9", 201-pound junior, coming off a 28-carry, 101-yard, 2-touchdown rushing touchdown performance. He also threw for a touchdown but had 3 interceptions. At running back, 5'9" senior Hagen Lamoureux had 86 yards in his opening contest win against Pinedale. In the hybrid position, Preston Brewer, he could be a fullback, he could be a wingback, a tight end. He's a junior, 168 pounds, 5'11". Preston Brewer had 3 carries for 65 yards and 1 catch for a touchdown. Richie Brewer, one of the 3 receivers, wears number 2, along with Blake Palmer, who wears number 27, a senior. And Alex Bradshaw, a 151-pound junior, is the 3rd receiver. At the offensive line, from left to right, starting at tackle, Ryan Christofferson. At left guard, Landon Heaton. Briggs Richard is the center. Hanson Bradshaw, right guard, and at right tackle, Roe Meekum, a 6'4", 200-pound sophomore. The kickoff man for Lyman in this contest is Braxton Saby. They do not have an extra point man or field goal man, but they do have a kickoff man in Braxton Saby. For Kemmerer, I think they actually do have a kicker in Dawson Schramm. He's their kicker, punter, and kickoff specialist man, and also their quarterback and a defensive back as well. Kind of a do-it-all guy for Kemmerer. Let's move on to the Kemmerer defense, and at the cornerback position, why not start back there? Dawson Schramm, a senior, 6 tackles, 1 for a loss, and a blocked kick in his opening week of play, a loss to Riverton's JV. Quentin Rosas is the other cornerback opposite him, wears number 13, a sophomore. And at safety in the back position, Tommy Skidmore, wears number 7, is a sophomore. Now let's move to the front line in this hybrid offense for Kemmerer. Let's go through the 2 D tackles first. Aaron Ortiz wears number 66, a junior, and Easton Rydstrom wears number 71, also a junior. At nose tackle, it's Nick Carlson, wears number 69, is a junior. And at the outside rush man, it's a 3-5 or a 5-3. Both of these teams run depending on how you want to look at it. So at the hybrid outside linebacker DN position, we have Jake Campman, a freshman, and A.Q. Martinez wearing number 3, a junior. At the will linebacker, Nano Rickard, a senior, wears number 72. At Sam linebacker, 62, Brendan Miller. And Coulter Julian is the middle linebacker. The opening kick is off and fielded at the 10-yard line by Lyman, out to the 25-yard line and pushing forward, trying to get to about the 27 and out of bounds on the return there. And it was a good one. Richie Brewer goes from the 10-yard line, and the ball is marked at the 29, maybe the 30. Wow, give him a little extra space, it looks like. Wait for the mark. Got 3 officials throwing 2 footballs back and forth. Lyman is out of the huddle and ready for their first play, but the ball is marked eventually at the 28-yard line. 11:54 on the clock, and in the shotgun position is the quarterback, Carter Smith. Behind him is Lamoureux. Takes the handoff up the middle, cuts out to the left side, trying to find a little bit of real estate, and there's not much to be found as he is down for a no gain. In on the tackle there, number 24, Coulter Julian, the middle linebacker, with his first play, and they give him 1 yard on the opening rush. And it is 2nd down and 9. Lyman out of the huddle again. Shotgun set, usually 3 receivers. This time we have 4 with Brewer as a wing back or maybe a tight end. Lamoureux to the right. Carter Smith keeps it himself. Spins around at the 30-yard line. Has a man dragging his jersey down, but he still pushes forward to about the 32-yard line. On the tackle there, it was Easton Rydstrom grabbing him from the jersey in the back, and the ball is marked at the 30, give him the 33-yard line, so a gain of 4. Put him at 3rd down and about 5.5 yards to go on the play. Lyman out of the huddle. Smith in the shotgun. 3 receivers out left side. 1 receiver to the near. Pistol form as the running back Lamoureux is behind him. Screen pass out left side, completed in the flats. Maybe back to the initial line of scrimmage as Richie Brewer caught it back at the 27-yard line and wrestled his way forward for a gain of 2 yards, make it 4th down and 4 on the play. First pass is completed by Carter Smith, but it does not go for much. Richie Brewer, not too much real estate to work with there. Lyman setting up to punt. Back to kick. It's up and fielded at the 25. No, it is not. May have been touched. And we'll have to see here. It's in at the end zone. Fielded at the 1 yard line and gang tackle by Lyman. Flags fly in. Is at the about the goal line. Must have just been touched there by number 24, Coulter Julian, as he raced back as the ball went over his head. Wait on the call for the flag. Time on the clock is 9:52. And the flag is down at about the goal line. The ball currently placed at, let's say, the 4 yard line. Hard to see here. There's no hash markers, and in this bright daylight, the light chalking down on the side is not that easy to pick up. Waiting on the call for the officials, and it is against Lyman. Pushes the line of scrimmage forward significantly, did not catch the penalty there. Maybe a personal foul based on the spot, though, as the ball starts at the 20, make it 19 yard line. Three and out for Lyman is their first drive, and now Kemmerer comes out and tries to get something going their way. Double wing formation for Kemmerer with Dawson Schramm at the quarterback position, wingbacks Coulter Julian and AQ Martinez with Tyson McCain, the fullback. Pitch out behind center. It's AQ out to the right hash marks, finding space at the 25 to the 30, breaks a tackle at the 35, out past the 40 and pushed out of bounds near the 45-yard line. A gigantic gain by AQ Martinez on the first play from scrimmage for Lyman. The ball marked at the 45-yard line, a gain of 26 on the first play. From the first, from a 19-yard line down to the 45. A gigantic gain there by AQ Martinez for 26 yards. Second play, under center is Dawson Schramm. Martinez behind him. They go opposite side. The handoff to Julian. Spins around about the guard line at the line of scrimmage and then gets about 1 yard before Carter Smith, the linebacker for Lyman, takes him down. Give him a gain of 1 yard there. Second down and 9 at the 46-yard line. Starters for Kemmerer, give him as we can. Start on the line. Left tackle, Brendan Miller. Left guard, Matt McMillan. Center is Easton Rydstrom. Right guard, Nano Rickert. And right tackle is Aaron Ortiz. Get the rest of them following this play. 46-yard line, second down and 9. Kemmerer ball under center. Pitch left side. Flag comes in at the snap. Martinez at the 50-yard line to the 45. Breaks a tackle, cuts back into the 40. 35-yard line down to the 32. But the flag came back immediately, and the Lyman coaches, I can't tell if they initially looked like they were happy, but I think it may go against Lyman on a free play for Kemmerer if it's an offsides. Have to wait here, though. Have to see on the call. And it looks like it's against Kemmerer. They're moving back, so negate that call. Would have been an excellent run for AQ Martinez. Ball currently being spotted at the 46 and mark it back 5 yards on holding at the 41-yard line. Goes the play. First penalty of the game. So second down and make it 14. At Kemmerer, Kemmerer for the starting lineups, we mentioned the quarterback, Dawson Schramm, wingbacks, Coulter Julian, McCain, and AQ Martinez. 2 receivers, 3 done this setup, 2 to the right. Make it 4 as AQ Martinez goes out right side. Handoff to Julian in the backfield. He is stuffed up in the backfield at about the 36-yard line. 3 Lyman tacklers come in for the play. And in on that tackle, not the only one, but Braxton Saby, the 5'6", 145-pound junior, was one of the 3 on the tackle. Ball marked back to the 37-yard line. So a loss of 4 for Julian. Third down and a mile to go. Put him on the 37-yard line. Need to get across the 50 and down to the 45. Under center is Schramm. An early jump by the Lyman defense, I think, will push him forward 5 more, but maybe they were instigated. No, it's a quick call for encroachment, and move it forward 5 yards to the 42-yard line. Again, need to get it to the 45, so that brings up 3rd down and 13 here. We'll have to give you those Lyman starters if this drive continues or the next drive after that for the defensive side. Man in motion is Martinez out right. Schramm back to throw. Tosses it up in the air. Completed to Martinez at the first down marker at the 45. And forward progress will give him a couple more. 3rd down and 13. The ball down to the 43-yard line for a pickup of about 15 yards on 3rd down. First pass play for Dawson Schramm goes for 15 yards. And a first down there for Martinez. He has a run of 26 and a catch of 15. And Dawson Schramm back under center. Ball, as we said, marked at about the 42-yard line. First down and 10. Martinez goes in motion. Pitch out right side. No, Schramm was looking to pitch out, but could not get rid of the ball. Instead, he's back in the backfield for a loss of 1 yard. 2nd down and 11 on the run by Schramm, his first attempt of the day. Ball marked from the 42 back to, let's say, the 43. And out on 2nd down and 11 is Kemmerer with Schramm under center. 2 receivers left side, ball marked on the 43-yard line. Julian in motion. A.Q. Martinez takes a pitch left, cuts back inside the tackles. A flag came in at about the 40-yard line right after the start of the snap. Would be about back to the line of scrimmage if there was not that flag. The ball currently marked for a gain, maybe 1. Flag is picked up, and the ball is marked at the initial line of scrimmage. Mark it back 5 more yards to the 48-yard line. Brings up 2nd down and about 15. Need to get it down to the 37-yard line, make it 2nd down and 11. Those starters for the Lyman defense on the front line, Hanson Bradshaw and Matt Wolford are the 2 D tackles, and the nose tackle Briggs Richards, number 55. Hybrid linebacker D-end Preston Brewer and Roe Meekum on either side. Brewer 19, Meekum 65. Linebackers Carter Smith, Braxton Saby, and Hagen Lamoureux. 2nd down and 11. Man in motion is Martinez out of the backfield. Low snap, picked up and roll out right. Dawson Schramm back to throw. Has Martinez, and it's picked off at the 25-yard line, intended for Martinez, instead into the hands of Hagen Lamoureux at the 25-yard line. And an interception for Lyman, much like they did in their win against Pinedale. Get into a bad situation and let the defense bail them out. Lyman will come out for their 2nd drive of the day after that interception. Well, it was all working for Kemmerer. And they had about a 3-minute-plus drive. Ball marked on the 23-yard line. Carter Smith back out. In the shotgun, Lamoureux behind him. Maybe more of a pistol form. 2 receivers either side. Handoff fake. Look out right side. Has Brewer in the flats. Completed at the 30-yard line. And Brewer is tackled down by Dawson Schramm as he gives an extended, exaggerated, long leap out trying to get some forward progress. And it works for a gain to the 32-yard line, brings up 2nd down and 1 on the play. Timeout taken by Kemmerer. We will take it with them. 2nd down and 1. Lyman on their own 32-yard line when we return on this First Bank presentation of Lyman football on KNYN 99.1 FM and online at mylocalradio.com.
A common thread no matter where you live in Wyoming is that if you're heading somewhere, it's probably going to be a while until you get there. A lot can go wrong on these long road trips across this great state. And if you ever find yourself broke down on the side of the road, it's time to call Glade Erickson at Bridger Valley Motor to come pick you up day or night. Bridger Valley Motor offers 24-hour towing services. If you need a tow, you need to call Glade on his cell phone at 307-780-3280. Bridger Valley Motor is here to pick you up if your lift ever lets you down. 307-780-3280.
Out of the timeout here, Lyman and Kemmerer. No score on the board here on mylocalradio.com. 5:52 left in the opening quarter as we welcome you back. Week 2 action happening And Kemmerer coming off of an interception. That one picked off by Hagen Lamoureux. 2nd down and 1, shotgun formation for Lyman on their 32-yard line. Palmer fakes the handoff there, and then Smith takes it up the middle himself, trying to get the extra yard. The quarterback getting an extra push from his lineman, but it was stifled at the line of scrimmage, and we'll have to see if he got anything. 1st down marker at the 33-yard line, and 1st down signaled by the head official. Ball marked at the 34-yard line. Give him 2 on the run. Carter Smith with his second run of the day. Shotgun formation, ball on the 34-yard line. Smith takes the snap, looks out left to throw, has a man out to his left and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Alex Bradshaw there. And a miss on Smith. It was a good placement of the ball, but Bradshaw just looked back over his back shoulder and must have lost the ball maybe in the sun. Smith's first 2 attempts of the day were completed. That is first incompletion. Gets the play from the sideline to the near. Lyman in those blue jerseys, white pants, and bright blue helmets on, going from left to right. Ball on the 34-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Handoff to Lamoureux, breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, then out to the 35 to the 40-yard line. Hagen Lamoureux with a good run on 2nd down to shorten up the field for a 3rd and manageable. Ball placed at the 41-yard line, a gain of 6 for Lamoureux on the carry. 7 yards for Lamoureux on a couple of carries. Ball at first quarter at 5 minutes. This first quarter brought to you by Bridger Valley Motor. 3rd down and make it maybe 3 there, maybe 4. Smith takes it himself. Direct snap, quarterback keeper to the 45, pushing to the 50. Still a pile and a sea of blue pushing from behind, maybe across the 50-yard line. From the 46, see where the marker is at. And they give him across the 50 down to the 49. Gain of 6 on the play. First down for Smith. He had 28 carries last week. Again, this first quarter brought to you by Bridger Valley Motor. 307-780-3280, the number to call. If you ever need a tow, that's Glade Erickson. Hagen Lamoureux takes a first down handoff and gets tied up at the toes, but ankle drags out to the 45-yard line. A gain of 4 on first down. Give him 2nd down and 4. And that's a 24-hour number for Bridger Valley Motor. 307-780-3280. That's the cell phone of Glade Erickson, owner. He's got that roll, I think they call it the rollback, that big tow truck. That's it's not. They put the vehicle up on top. So if you got an all-wheel drive vehicle, don't worry about it. They put it up top. You're not going to have those wheels spinning independently. That's Glade Erickson and Bridger Valley Motor. Direct snap again to Smith on 2nd down and 4, and he moves forward past the 40-yard line from the 45. Gain of about 5 or 6 yards, close to another first down, and the chains do in fact move. The ball marked down at the 37-yard line. About 9 yards on the carry for Carter Smith. He's got 20. He's got 21 on 4 carries. First down and 10, ball at the 37-yard line. Shotgun form for Smith, man behind him. Takes the handoff in Lamoureux. Gets past one defender, pushes out towards the left tackle, and about there is where the drive stalls at the 35-yard line. I should say the play stalls. Gain of 2 yards on the play for Lamoureux. This is very similar to what we saw a week ago with Lyman defeating Pinedale. They did throw 12 times in all, but heavy run attack. Number 20, Carter Smith with 28 carries, Hagen Lamoureux with 22, 3 by Preston Brewer. And watch for that double handoff to happen occasionally with Smith to Lamoureux, and then Brewer will come around and take a second handoff. First, 2nd down and 7, and a sweep end around. Handoff to the receiver there, Richie Brewer, and he's brought down for a loss of 1 yard at the 36-yard line. Brewer was trying to sweep from the left side over to the right, but could not find any real estate. And it's 3rd down and 8 to go. Shotgun formation. Smith awaiting the snap. 2 receivers out to the left side, 1 to the near. Direct snap, keeper. Smith bullies his way forward like a bowling ball down past the 25-yard line, or close to it, about the 26-yard line. Should be good for a first down by a yard. Needed to get to the 27, and they get down to the 26. Smith again, no huddle. Direct snap again. And not the same result this time. A sea of white and black coming in for Kemmerer on the defensive side. Ball was marked at the 27-yard line, and he gets to the 25 for a gain of 2. Ball marked just a football head in front of the 25-yard line. 2nd down and 8. Wing back to the right side. 2 receivers left, 1 to the far. Palmer, that far man. Handoff to Lamoureux, and he's stopped at about the line of scrimmage, maybe even for a gain of 1 yard. Hagen Lamoureux had a lead block of number 19, Brewer, but Preston then got pushed back behind him, and that's about how that line went. They do give him actually a couple of yards with forward progress down to the 23-yard line. Gain of 2 there. 3rd down and 6 to go. Shotgun snap is a little low. Roll out right side. Smith looks to throw. He's got Palmer in the end zone. Catch and good. Touchdown, Lyman. 23-yard touchdown with 27 seconds left in the opening quarter, brought to you by Bridger Valley Motor. And Lyman strikes first, 6-0 on the board. Look for Lyman to go for 2 here. Touchdown from Smith. Out to Blake Palmer. And he had his man beat. I think it was Schramm out there in single coverage. Shotgun snap again low. This time it's a direct to Hagen Lamoureux. He races his way past the right guard and into the end zone, nearly untouched. 8-0 Lyman. This is a first quarter brought to you by Bridger Valley Motor. Glade Erickson has the number 307-780-3280. That's the cell phone to call if you ever need a tow, day or night, 7 days a week. Another one's bringing you this first quarter. Lyman with an opening touchdown makes it 8-0 on this First Bank presentation of Lyman football on mylocalradio.com. Back in 30 with the kickoff.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at Well Child Checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
Adding everything up here, welcome back to the Bridger Valley Motor first quarter as Lyman has taken an 8-0 lead over the Kemmerer Rangers. It was 6:09 when Lyman took over, so let's say it's about a 5-minute and 40-second possession. 77 yards. Go the Eagles. And they strike first 8-0 on a 23-yard touchdown. Out right side, Carter Smith found Blake Palmer open and passed his man Dawson Schramm in single coverage through a perfect little lofter into his hands. And then the direct snap by Hagen Lamoureux made it 8-0. Kickoff, right side for Lyman, kicking from the left to their right, rolls into the end zone. Coulter Julian lets this one fall into the back and out to the 20-yard line with about 27 seconds left in the Bridger Valley Motor first quarter. Kemmerer takes over. This is their second drive. The first ended in an INT. In the huddle is Kemmerer. For Smith, the 23 yards plus the 11, that makes it 34 yards for him on the day. And that was Blake Palmer's first catch. Out of the huddle now. And at the 20-yard line, Kemmerer starts. A.Q. Martinez goes right side into motion, takes the snap out to the far sideline. Gets about 5 yards before being brought down near the 25-yard line. That'll be close to the end, if not the end of the first quarter. Clock continuing to roll down. And Kemmerer will let it roll out. They come out to the huddle, maybe not, at 4 seconds left. Ball on the 25-yard line. And 3, 2, 1, there's the whistle. The end of the first quarter brought to you by Bridger Valley Motors sees one score in. It is the Lyman Eagles with a 23-yard touchdown throw from Carter Smith to Blake Palmer. We will be back with second quarter coverage next on this First Bank presentation of Lyman Eagles football on mylocalradio.com with the simulcast on KNY and 99.1 FM.
A common thread no matter where you live in Wyoming is that if you're heading somewhere, it's probably going to be a while until you get there. A lot can go wrong on these long road trips across this great state. And if you ever find yourself broke down on the side of the road, it's time to call Glade Erickson at Bridger Valley Motor to come pick you up day or night. Bridger Valley Motor offers 24-hour towing services. If you need a tow, you need to call Glade on his cell phone at 307-780-3280. Bridger Valley Motor is here to pick you up if your lift ever lets you down. 307-780-3280.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
Second quarter action has us flipping the field around as Kemmerer now moving from left to right. Schramm gives the opening handoff at the 25-yard line to A.Q. Martinez from his left, moving into the right, just right of center. Martinez brought down near the line of scrimmage, and it brings up 3rd down and 5. No gain on the play for A.Q. And we have in the first half, or in the first quarter, I should say, I have just 27 yards of rushing for Kemmerer, 15 yards of passing as well. Of course, that interception flipping the fortunes around. A little bit more for Lyman, 44, make it 44 yards on the ground for the Eagles. Man in motion to the left is Julian, and sweep out left side. Schramm hands off to Martinez at the 25-yard line. The ball looks like it's loose, and someone came up with it. Maybe Martinez actually did hold on to it. Sure looked like it came out for a second. Ball at about the 27-yard line. And it was perhaps a fumble, but either way, brought down with the ball is Kemmerer and marked at the 28-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play for AQ. And it brings up 4th down and 1. Need to get another 1.5 yards, and a whistle blown at the snap as a direct snap to Schramm and a quarterback keeper. Is preempted by the flag. The play whistle dead, and an early jump by somebody. But it's going against Lyman. Encroachment on the Eagles moves it forward 5 yards. And the ball goes to the 34-yard line, a 1st down on a penalty. Penalty for a 1st down there. $14 yards so far on the drive, 5 of those by way of the penalty. Schramm under center, looks out to his left, and then hands off. It's off to Julian at the 40-yard line, to the 50. He's off to the races, 50, 45, 35, still on his feet, pushed out of bounds, maybe at the 25-yard line. A gigantic gain for Coulter Julian on the play. Wow. See where the ball is placed. And the ball was at the 34-yard line for Kemmerer on that play, down to the 23-yard line, make it a gain of 44 yards on the carry for Coulter Julian. A big breakout play, and exactly what Kemmerer needed following that interception. gives a little momentum back, an 8-0 score on the board in favor of Lyman, but it's 1st and 10 and flip that field all the way down to the 23-yard line. Man in motion to the right is Martinez. That's the snap going to Schramm as he rolls out to his right, looking for real estate, brought down by Brewer. And Preston Brewer in on the tackle, as well as Hanson Bradshaw. And a no gain, maybe a loss of 1 on the carry. Ball placed at the 23-yard line, maybe 23.5, so we'll say it's a no gain. Give Schramm the benefit of the doubt there. He's just got a couple of carries so far for -1 yards. And they do give him a loss, so I guess we have to take it away. 2nd down and 11. Ball marked at the 24. Schramm under center. Looks out to his left, then goes to his right. It's Julian taking the handoff straight up the gut. Down to the 20-yard line, maybe to the 19. Gain of 5 on the play brings up 3rd down and 6. 46 yards for Julian, almost all of those coming from that run of 44 yards. And if you wonder how he gets a gain of 5 and is now to 46, well, he was in negative yardage in that first quarter on a couple of carries. 8:44 left in the first half, 8-0 score, and 3rd down and about 7 to go, maybe 6. In the shotgun, Dawson Schramm has a man in motion left. That's the way he rolls. Pitches out left side to Martinez. Cut inside, breaks through 1 tackle, but then a second comes in. Preston Brewer brings him down near the 20-yard line. AQ got 1 man beat, but Brewer came in a fury and wrapped up AQ Martinez. A no gain on the play. Puts him at 3rd and 7. Unless Kemmerer's got a lot of trust in their kicker here. Imagine this is 4-down territory all the way around. First a timeout. The ball needs to get down to about the 14-yard line, it looks like. Very hard to see here at Lyman High School, maybe the 13. Back in 30 seconds. This is a First Bank presentation of Lyman Eagles football on mylocalradio.com. 8-0, Lyman leads Kemmerer.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
8-0 the score as we welcome you back with 8:06 left in the second quarter to Lyman, Wyoming, where the Eagles of Lyman are currently defending the Kemmerer Rangers offensive push. Down 8-0, the Rangers have a 4th and must get it. 7 yards to go. Ball deep inside their own territory at the 20-yard line. Flag flies as Dawson Schramm goes back to throw. Incomplete to Martinez at the goal line. Signaled incomplete, but we have to wait on the flag. It is at the line of scrimmage, maybe behind. And Dale Anderson, head coach of the Lyman Eagles, is currently waving his hands back and forth in the motion of decline, decline, decline. So that would signal that it could go against Kemmerer. And that is the play. Turnover on downs. Kemmerer gets it down to the 20-yard line, but stops over on a turnover on downs, and that's where the drive stalls. A penalty. And if not a penalty, then the incomplete pass intended for AQ Martinez. Just 1 completion for Dawson Schramm today. And Lyman starts over with their 3rd drive of the day. Their second one ended with a long touchdown of 77 yards on the drive there. Took the better part of the first quarter. 8:01 in the first half here left. Low snap, fielded by Smith, hands off to Lamoureux. He races past a couple of tackles, still on his feet. Breaks it open at the 35 to the 40. He's caught from behind by AQ Martinez at the 43-yard line. But what a drive. A gain of 23 yards there for Lamoureux on a play that looked like he was initially stopped at the line of scrimmage. They place it at the 44, so make it a gain of 24 for Lamoureux. Big breakout and the first big one of the day for Lamoureux on the ground. He's been churning it along here and there. And with that, doubles his average from 25 to 49 yards. First down and 10, quarterback keeper. Smith lowers his shoulder at the 47-yard line and gets a man flying backwards down at the 49-yard line. Smith was tackled on that play, but not without imprinting a stamp, a shoulder pad on his defender there. Down to the 49-yard line. A gain of 5 brings up 2nd down and 5, just a yard shy of the 50-yard marker. Man in motion to the left is Brewer. Hand off to Lamoureux. He breaks a couple of tackles, bet the back line. Gets into the second level at the 45-yard line. Still on his feet. Finally, a pile comes up at the 43, and a 1st down and a little bit more. Couple passed for Lamoureux. Gets down to the 42-yard line. A gain of, let's say, 9 yards for Lamoureux on the play. Has 58 on 7 carries. No huddle offense for Lyman. Shotgun form is Smith. Ball down to the 42-yard line, and a quarterback keeper out to the 35-yard line. He's still moving, and maybe to the 33. Carter Smith. He's like a little ball of muscle there. I'm not sure exactly what his top-end speed is, but when he lowers his shoulder, you do not want to be in his way. Ball marked at the 33-yard line, let's say. There are no official markers here at Lyman, so a gain of 9 and a 1st down for Smith. Second down and, not a 2nd down and 2 to go. I was off on my play there. Keeper again, left side. Lamoureux, Smith to the 20-yard line. 15, 5, 10, still on his feet. Campman brings him down from behind. Line of scrimmage was at the 33-yard line, and Smith just ran it and had guys all around him. He shed off a couple of runners, and finally Jake Campman, the freshman wearing number 85 for Kemmerer, was the only one who could bring him down, and the ball is marked at the 6-yard line. Gain of 27 for Smith. 61 yards for Smith. 1st down and 10. Lamoureux takes the sweep right side into the end zone for a touchdown. 1st and goal, and the Lyman Eagles lead it 14-0 on a 6-yard scamper into the end zone by Hagen Lamoureux. Lamoureux with that run is up to 64 yards on the day. Go for 2 here. Ball marked at the 3-yard line. 1 receiver either side. 2 to the left, 1 to the far. Man in motion and the receiver to the right. Smith fakes the handoff, takes it up the middle himself, sheds off 1 tackle as he jukes to his left and into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Lyman leads it 16-0 over Kemmerer. 5:42 left in the 2nd quarter, and Lyman has taken a 2-touchdown lead. Back with the kickoff. When we return, this is a First Bank presentation on MyLocalRadio.com of Lyman football. Also with the simulcast on KNY and 99.1 FM.
We're here to help strengthen our community. Yes, that's right. At Trona Valley Federal Credit Union, we take pride in belonging to our community. We encourage people of every race, gender, and belief to come together and give their all towards the betterment of our community. It's about people helping people. When you join our credit union, you also join a movement. At Trona Valley, we are thankful for our members, member NCUA, Trust NCUA, a credit union system that is safe, sound, and secure.
6-yard touchdown run for Hagen Lamoureux was set up by the 27-yard bulldoze of Carter Smith. He ran around, just left a tackle, then continued to find space up the left sideline and raced and raced and raced. Only Jake Campman could finally bring him down, but that was down at the 6-yard line. And 1 play later, the Lyman Eagles lead Kemmerer 16-0 on the board. Set to kick off Kemmerer. It's Braxton Saby. And with that Lyman defense, I think we finally get everyone in them for him. Anyways, let's run through that defensive line one more time while we have it on the starter side here in the 2nd quarter. Hanson Bradshaw, Matt Wolford, and Briggs Richards on the line, and then the outside men attacking Preston Brewer and Roe Meekum. Linebackers Carter Smith, Braxton Saby, Hagen Lamoureux, and Richard Brewer, Blake Palmer, and McCoy Smith, the 3 men in the secondary at safety and cornerback. Saby set to kick off. Shoots it out to about the 15-yard line, and Coulter Julian fumbles it. He picks it back up with a little bit of room at the 20. Cuts back right side and brought down at the 24-yard line. And a good tackle there. Seeing if I can grab a number on that young man. Looks like McCoy Smith, the freshman, with the tackle there. A little wrap up around the ankles, and the drive starts for Kemmerer at about the 24-yard line. Time on the clock, 5:36 left in the second quarter. And they give him the ball at the 25. This is the third drive for Kemmerer. Their second looked like it would end with a touchdown, as their first did as well, but a stall on a turnover on downs. Roll out left, Schramm may have to tuck and run. Still looking to throw out to the far left sideline, and incomplete at about 5 yards in front of the line of scrimmage. Broken up there on the play. It was Alex Bradshaw in the secondary, forcing the bad angle for Schramm to throw. Second down and 10. Didn't catch the intended receiver out there, but it would have either been Campman or Skidmore. Second down and 10, ball on the 25-yard line. 16-0 the score, 5:27 left in the first half. Two receivers, one either side, under center. Three backs behind Schramm, and A.Q. Martinez takes the handoff at the 25. Stutter steps out to the 30 and gets wrapped up at about the 32-yard line for a good gain on second down of about 7 yards. See where he's marked at, and they'll give him out to the 2-yard line. And yes, it is a gain of 7. A.Q. Martinez up past the 40-yard mark on the day. Ball placed on the 37-yard line. Third down and 3 to go. Stuffed up backfield. And Schramm hands off to, looks like Julian. He is stopped at the line of scrimmage. A good hold there by the Lyman defense. Roe Meekum in on the tackle, as well as Preston Brewer. Also maybe number 57 for Lyman. There is no 57. That's Roe Meekum. And Landon Heaton, I think maybe the other guy getting in on that tackle. So 3 and out, and not much time taken off. Clock at 4:23, about a minute drive, and a flag preempts the punt on 4th and 3. See where it's at as Schramm tosses it back to the official. And it's moving back Kemmerer's way. Penalty on the Rangers on a false start, moving back 5 yards, ball at the 27-yard line. Been a few penalties for both sides today. 2 men back to receive for Lyman. A weak punt just past the 50-yard line, and let it roll as it takes a positive bounce for Lyman, and out of bounds Richie Brewer and Blake Palmer. The 2 men back to receive. Both of them let it go, and the ball is marked for Lyman to take over at the 41-yard line, it looks like. So a punt there of 32 yards for Schramm. Ball marked on the 41-yard line. Good field position for Carter Smith and the Lyman Eagles. Out in the shotgun, low snap. Handoff fake. Smith keeps it up the right hash mark himself. Small gain there, maybe 1, maybe 2 for Smith on the quarterback keeper. Brings up second down and 8 to go. Ball out to the 43-yard line. .45 yards on 9 carries for Carter Smith. Again, ball marked on the 43-yard line, just 7 yards in front of the 50. Lyman in possession, having scored twice today. Looking to take a 3-touchdown advantage with about 3 minutes and some change left in the half. Handoff Lamoureux, and he's dragging a man by his coattail at the 45-yard line. He's finally brought down. It was a couple of yards that Riggin Walker was, maybe Coulter Julian was carrying him. And finally brought down at the 45-yard line. After all that, it's a gain of 2 yards for Lamoureux and the Lyman Eagles, 66 yards for Lamoureux. 3rd down and 6 to go. Need to get it to the 49-yard line. Direct quarterback keeper Smith pushing his way forward, going to be short, but maybe a go-for-it situation for Lyman as the ball's down to the 49-yard line, 2 yards shy of first down territory. Make it 4th down and 1. The ball marked just shy of the 50. 5-yard carry for Smith. And it looks like Lyman is going for it. Right at midfield. 4th and 1. Smith and Lamoureux in the backfield. 2:20 left in the first half. And a timeout taken first by Lyman. They'll discuss their options. Ball just shy of the 50-yard marker. Just need to get it across to the 49. We'll find out if they continue to go for it or if they punt it. When we return, 16-0, Lyman leads Kemmerer on this First Bank presentation of Lyman football on mylocalradio.com with the simulcast on KNYN 99.1 FM.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Ball marked on the 49-yard line for Lyman. 4th down and 1, and the Eagles are set to go for it. Right at midfield, Brewer in motion to the left. Direct snap to Lamoureux. He's got it. Broke open at the 40-yard line. One man to beat, 30, 25, 20, 10, 5, and a 3-touchdown lead for the Lyman Eagles on their homestand. Looking to go 2-0 in the conference year, and they will head into the half likely now with a 3-touchdown lead. Add 6 to the board, it's 22-0 on the board. 50. It's called a 50-yard touchdown run for Hagen Lamoureux. Puts him up to 116. Go for 2 here. And a handoff is stopped short. The ball comes out. And no extra points there. On the carry, it was Braxton Saby. Not to be, but Lyman still with a 22-0 lead on a 50-yard run by Hagen Lamoureux, his 2nd touchdown of the day. This is a First Bank presentation of Lyman football taking on Kemmerer, Week 2 of the 2A season when we return.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
2 drives in the first quarter and 2 in the second. 3 touchdowns in all so far after a 3-and-out for Lyman to start the contest. They've driven 77 yards, 80 yards, and most recently 76. Almost all of those coming on a 4th and 1. Go for it. Let's see what we can do. And a 50-yard rush into the end zone, racing away. Hagen Lamoureux gets his 2nd score of the day for Lyman. Kicking off for Kemmerer, or kicking off to Kemmerer, is Braxton Saby for Lyman. The kickoff is dead center, fielded at about the 17-yard line by Julian. He stays right side at the 20 to the 25, 35, and a flag comes in as he gets tripped up by Blake Palmer. Or no, that's not Blake Palmer out there. That is Alex Bradshaw at about the 37-yard line, maybe to the 40, but a flag is down. Usually that means something against the offense. And the official moving to center field to call holding against Kemmerer. They'll march it back a little bit, down to 158. Those long drives for Lyman, we mentioned all 3 of their touchdown drives, 70-plus yards. That's led to not a whole lot of time for Kemmerer to respond. This just their fourth drive of the contest as well. 1:58 left in the ball marked at the 21-yard line. Shotgun form, one back either side. Man in motion is Julian out to the left. Snap goes to Schramm. He rolls out left. Tucks with pressure coming in from behind. Sacked down at the 14-yard line. And in on that sack there, it looked like number 19 for Lyman. That's Preston Brewer. And he is one of those rushing end arounds. I think Brewer with the sack there. Clock down to 1:35. And the ball is marked at the 14. They need to get it down all the way after the penalty already. Back here, 14-yard line, and a rush around left side out to the 20-yard line, maybe the 18. Stopped well short. Down to a final minute here. And sorry for that brief time off air there. AJ in the studio just had a little blip in the audio. Brings up third down and, let's say, 13 yards. Didn't catch the man carrying the ball there. Getting that audio down. Ball marked at, let's say, the 20-yard line, make it the 19. And still 3rd and 13 to go, long ways. 47 yards on 7 carries for AQ Martinez. And welcome on a new sponsor. Benedict's Market and True Value. That's the end of the, not the end of the quarter. 7 seconds left in the quarter. 7 seconds and a timeout taken by Kemmerer. We'll be back with the final play next of the first half. This is a First Bank presentation on mylocalradio.com of Lyman football.
Members of Trona Valley Federal Credit Union feel confident that our staff has your best interest in mind, confident that we acknowledge your financial needs, confident that we are always working hard to provide the best rates, best products, and the best service the industry can offer, and confident that we will always work with you to help achieve your financial goals. Join Trona Valley Federal Credit Union today. TronaValley.com, member NCUA.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great.
Back here for the final play of, well, maybe there's a little bit more. This is 11 seconds now onto the clock, so maybe time for 2 plays. High snap, Schramm takes it at the 19-yard line, and Preston Brewer says, no way, go down to the ground, young man. Sacked up at the 6-yard line. And 2.9 seconds left. Kemmerer takes another timeout, or maybe it's Lyman with the timeout on the play. I think it's Lyman, and they'll say we don't need to talk about it. Just give us that timeout, and on 4th down, let's go ahead and kick it off as they're in bad position. For Lyman, what do you do here? They called it back to 5 seconds. From 2.9 to 5 seconds, a timeout. Now they will discuss it. 5 seconds and 4th down upcoming at about the 5-yard line for Kemmerer to punt away to Lyman. See what they can do next. First Bank presentation of Lyman football on mylocalradio.com.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
22-0 with 5 seconds left, and back deep to receive a punt at the 47-yard line is Blake Palmer for Lyman. Kemmerer has Schramm booted away, It's not a bad one. Fielded at the 45. Chance to try to make something happen, but a block in the back will negate it all. 30, 25, 10, 15. They're getting excited, but a block in the back negates it almost immediately. It was Easton Rydstrom that got hit from behind, and it looked like it was Hagen Lamoureux with that block that takes it away. That brings the clock down to 0, and that's the end of the first half. 22-0 the score on the freshly sold Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. We'll be back with halftime coverage. That's brought to you by Bradshaw's. Next on this First Bank presentation of Lyman football on mylocalradio.com with the simulcast on KNYN 99.1 FM.
Whatever you need, it's likely that Bradshaw's and Lyman can help. Whether it's windows at home or new glass in your car, truck, SUV, or semi, Bradshaw's has it. Tires? Yes. All vehicles, ATVs, semis, and more. Bradshaw's offers a 24-hour towing service for everything large to small. And the Bradshaw Fitness Center is open 24/7. There's more, so always call Bradshaw's first. Whatever you need, it's likely they can help. 307-787-3450. Again, that's 307-787-3450.
If you can't give your dentist a 5-star rating, then you want to consider making your next dental appointment with Dr. McKay Frankham. One patient said, "The best experience I've ever had at a dentist." Other customer comments include 5 stars plus. And not only is Dr. Frankham the best dentist I've ever been to, but I can actually afford to have dental work done by Dr. Frankham. Make your next dental visit a 5-star experience. Call for an appointment today at 307-789-8910.
Because of you, I felt not alone in this world. And you let me know that it only takes one person to make you feel wanted.
Light up your world with a custom-built LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign in Evanston. It's a proven fact that signage that lights up creates more attention. So light it up and then add text, images, and video, and your sign becomes even more powerful. Start sharing your advertising messages and information with your customers today. The team at Rocky Mountain Sign provides all types of quality signage that is custom-built and maintained. Call today for a free quote. Rocky Mountain Sign, 307-789-5202. Rocky Mountain Sign, serving customers in Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
We hope you're enjoying this mylocalradio.com exclusive broadcast of Bridger Valley Sports. We love being able to travel around the state to bring the action on the field or court back to you watching at home. Let's face it, doing all of this would not be possible without all of our great sponsors. We appreciate the support the following businesses and individuals show to both Mountain View and Lyman Sports. Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance in Evanston. Whether it's home, life, renters, auto, or more, Jeff Piper is your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Black's Fork Dental, top-of-the-line dentistry available right in your backyard. Thank you to all of our Bridger Valley sports sponsors.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires and offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
Welcome into the Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness halftime show as Lyman with a 22-0, a drubbing so far in the first half of the Kemmerer Rangers. This is a very important contest, as we mentioned, coming into this game. Lyman gets a conference win last week. They get a chance to go 2-0 in the conference season 2 weeks in before most programs have already even played one conference game. Lyman could be sitting at 2-0. And let's face it, these conference matches, they are going to be tough to come by as that year goes by. You got to get those wins where you can, as this is a very, very competitive conference. After you get past that, you got the behemoth on both sides, on the west and the east. You got Mountain View and you have Buffalo. And then after that, you got a bunch of teams vying for the remaining 3 spots. You would imagine that's how that season will roll out. And so far, Lyman is putting themselves in front of the 8 ball, 1 half into the contest, but still a lot of game to go. Up 22-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. We'll come back and run you through first half stats right after this. This is a First Bank presentation on MyLocalRadio.com of Lyman Eagles football. Welcome back to the Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness Halftime Show. Bradshaw's offering glass and our auto and home glass repair. 24-hour towing as well as a fitness center that never closes. That's 24/7 as well. Whatever it is you need, Bradshaw's can probably help just down the road from Lyman High School right now, where the Eagles hold a 22-0 lead on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard over the Kemmerer Rangers. Let's start with Lyman's stats first. 4 drives is all, but they've all been long, save for their first, and that's taken the clock, really run it down. Their time of possession is hefty over Kemmerer. Individually, let's take a look. Hagen Lamoureux with 2 touchdowns, 116 yards on 10 carries. Touchdown runs of 6 yards and 50 yards. Carter Smith with 10 carries as well. He's right at the 5-yard per carry mark, 50 through those 10 carries, and then 1 carry by Richie Brewer for -1 yards. Carter Smith with 61 yards through the air on, make it 5 completions, and those completions into Palmer, Brewer, and Richie Brewer, and Preston Brewer as well for those. And let me double check on that. I think, actually, I got Palmer. I've got Smith with some of those are actually not completions. Those are rushes. I put him in the wrong spot. The 27-yarder was certainly a rush, so he's sitting at a little bit more than that. I have to readjust those stats. That'd put him at 77 on that, and then another 23 there. He's close to about 100 yards. I think I've got him actually on 100 yards on 2 carries, and that adjusts our rushing stats. Put those in the wrong spot. So he is actually sitting at about 34 yards passing. On the Kemmerer side of things, 47 yards from A.Q. Martinez, 46 from Coulter Julian with a long of 44 yards on the day, and then -2 yards on a couple of rushes by Dawson Schramm. He has a completion as well for 15 yards to A.Q. Martinez. We will take a break now on the Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness Halftime Show and come back with our standout student. It's Kaylin Woodruff, a golfer competing in the conference golf on day 2 at Evanston right now as we speak. So we'll hear from her after after finishing in the top 10 in an Evanston competition a couple of weeks ago. Kaylin Woodruff, our standout student, when we return on this Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness Halftime Show. 22-0 at the half. Lyman leads Kemmerer on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. This is a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com with the simulcast on 99.1 FM.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
I have Kaylin Woodruff with me, a member of the Lyman High School golf team, and you are coming off a couple of top 10 finishes, most recently, from what I understand, at Evanston. Is that correct?
Yes.
How did you have to score to get into the top 10 in that tournament? What were your scorecards like?
My first score for the first day was a 98, and the second day was a 108 because I ran out of water. But so it takes lots of practice. I practiced mostly my driver to get over 150 yards, and then I practiced my putting so I can read the greens and know how far I need to putt and how hard I need to hit it.
Tell me a little bit more about running out of water. How did that affect your day 2?
So in golf, water is very important because you're walking tons and it's almost like 100 degrees outside, and water keeps you motivated and strengthens your body. Most times you're supposed to eat food, but I really don't. But the water, it helped me, but once I ran out, I was just drained because I was walking so much and it was super hot outside. And so, yeah, it affected very harshly my score.
It's been really hot this summer and then fall. Yesterday was the hottest recorded day in several towns around Wyoming for the beginning of September. So I'm with Kaylin Woodruff of Lyman Golf, and she's talking about the importance of water and how that kind of affected her day 2 score. At what point, what hole are we talking about when you ran out?
So we play golf, so I had to start on hole 9, but we still golf 18. And I ran about hole 13, I ran out of water. And I was like, well, and so I ran into the clubhouse about hole 18 and just hurried and filled up 3 water bottles and then ran back out and caught up with the girls I was with.
So you run out about 4 holes in. Was it just that much hotter, or did you not have the water that you expected or thought you did going into the tournament?
It was just that much hotter. I was drinking every time I had a break. And then I figured, I was like, crap, I ran out of water. I'm toast.
Nonetheless, you did still finish in the top 10, and that's what gets you up on the podium. How's it feel when you get at the end of a tournament and you get to stand up there and get your picture taken, be with all the other kids who finished in that top 10?
So that was my first time qualifying top 10, and that excitement just filled me. I was so happy that I made top 10, and I was just jumping for joy, and everyone's like, good job. And the feeling is just overwhelming because you're people actually know that I actually try and work my hardest to get there. And I usually place low 20s, and I worked super hard to get to where I am.
What did you do to work and get better at your craft to start this season off and get a top 10 finish?
So since we don't have a golf course, I went and practiced in the backyard of Lyman High School. And I'd just go chip, putt, and I'd hit my wedges and everything. And I just worked on those. And then as a team, we go practice in Evanston. And that's where I'd hit my driver on the driving range and work on my putting more.
How often can you get out to that Evanston range? Because it's not necessarily all that close. It's, we're less than 40 miles, but still, it's a haul one way to then get back.
So we usually go every Tuesday, but I talk to my mom every time she needs to go to the store or something. I told her drop me off at the golf course so I can get my practice in for the week and just get it in all the time. And if anyone else, my neighbors, go to Evanston, I'm going to ask for rides so I can practice more.
You mentioned that you can go in the backyard of that Lyman High School. That's kind of where you guys practice, and you get that chipping, the putting sort of thing as best you can. But where do you work on driving?
So we have a field back there, and it's really tall grass, so if you hit a ball, you can't go get it. So you run out of balls pretty quick. And so I'd only practice 5 times, and then I'd just swing my driver. I wouldn't hit a ball. I'd just get that swing, get used to the feel, and be able to practice with that.
What year in school are you?
I am a junior in high school.
So you've got a little bit more time. You're starting to get that score down. What would you like to see it at on an average day for your score this year?
This year I want to be high 80s, low 90s.
And that's a pretty good mark. If you can get into that, you're looking at being competitive to try to get on that podium at the region and state tournaments, aren't you?
Yes. The top golfer that I played with last weekend, she shot 77 both days. And so I was like, if I get in the 80s, I'll be one of the top golfers at state.
It's certainly not the easiest sport to get involved in Lyman, but why did you choose golf?
So I lived in Utah, and my sisters played golf, and I was like, that looks like a fun sport. So I tried it my freshman year, and I just fell in love with it. I hit a house my first day golfing, and I just fell in love with it because I got yelled at, and I had a fun time with it.
That's Kaylin Woodruff Jr. at Lyman High School, 8th place finisher at the Evanston Invite. Good luck the rest of the season. We'll have to check in and hope we get that score into the 80s. Go get it.
Just about ready for the start of the third quarter, closing in at the end of the Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness halftime show. 22-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Lyman over Kemmerer, and I've got those stats fixed up so I can give them to you now as complete. There was one run that was actually a pass that it was a pass that I had marked it down. It was actually a run. So I've got it all down. So it's actually 11 carries for Carter Smith for 77 yards, 116 yards on 10 carries for Hagen Lamoureux, and then the negative 1 yard carry puts him for 192 yards on the ground through one half of play, and then 34 yards of passing through 3 completions to Carter Smith. Won the touchdown to Blake Palmer for 23 yards, completion of 2 yards to Richie Brewer, and then Preston Brewer caught one for 9 yards. Comparatively for Lyman, no score. So far, they have 91 yards of rushing and 15 yards of passing for a total of 106 yards on the ground and through the air. Third quarter starting momentarily as Kemmerer will get the opening kickoff. Kemmerer only had one complete drive in the first quarter, and that was an interception as it ended, as Lyman took their second drive right to the end of the first quarter. Kemmerer got 1 or 2 plays in before that long drive that went down to their Lyman 20-yard line for Kemmerer and resulted in a turnover on down. So back-to-back turnovers, one through the air on an interception, one on 4th and out for Kemmerer. They only got 2 drives in the second period. That actually started and went through all of the second period, and they both were 3 and out. Lyman's drives have gone 3 and out, and then a touchdown drive of 77 yards, touchdown drive of 80 yards, and a touchdown drive of 76. As we are set now for the kickoff. Braxton Saby taking his steps back to kick off at the 40-yard line for Kemmerer, or for Lyman to the Kemmerer Rangers. The third quarter moments away, 22-0. Lyman leads the Rangers. This time a short kick. One hops at the 20-yard line, at the 30, fielded at the 20 by a new man back there. It's not Coulter Julian. It's out to the 29-yard line where it goes. It is that 28 Tyson McCain, it looks like, fielding that, as there was a little bit of fumble issues for Coulter Julian judging off of the punt and the kicks. He fumbled one punt return where it went just over his head, and then fumbled a fielding, muffed it, and then picked it back up of a kickoff as well. This drive starts just shy of the 30-yard line, so decent field position here on the 29-yard line for Kemmerer to start off the third quarter. The referee took away the football and has now tossed it out. We have a new one. Maybe it's too light on the... Needs to be pumped up a bit, one way or another. There's a new football down 29-yard line is where Kemmerer starts their drive, their own. Under center, Schramm hands off to Julian. He breaks through one tackle, but still at the line of scrimmage, moving to his left. He gets stuffed up by Hanson Bradshaw on his second effort. No gain, maybe a loss on the play. Great job at the line of scrimmage by Hanson Bradshaw with the takedown. Still discussing the football. Now they're looking at the two of them, weighing their options, and deciding which one to use. The referee in charge of placing it kind of looked up and said, well, which one do you want me to use? It doesn't seem to matter, so 2nd down and 10 is the call, still on the 29-yard line. A.Q. Martinez behind Schramm in that 3-back set. One receiver either side. Wing back from the right, moves to the left in Julian. Pitch out left side to Martinez. Has a good block at the edge. 25, 35, down to the 40, still on his feet. And pushed out of bounds at the 45 to 47-yard line. Great play there for a gain of, if it's at the 47-yard line, of 19. And a first down run. They mark it right there at the 47-yard line. A gain of 18 yards for A.Q. Martinez. Good run around the left side, and that was all started off by an excellent block of Coulter Julian, the wingback, in motion to the left side. 65 yards on 8 carries for AQ. Ball just in front of the 50-yard line. Handoff to the back. Again, Martinez stuffed at the line of scrimmage, trying to go straight away and up the gut this time. Brings up 2nd down and 10. 65 yards again, this time on 9 carries for A.Q. Martinez. Ball on the 47-yard line. Kemmerer has gotten a couple of drives working. Their first two weren't that bad. They just ended with an errant throw and then unable to finish it out at the 20-yard line on that turnover on downs. 2nd down and 10. This is their 5th drive of the day. Schramm under center. Man in motion to the right. A.Q. Martinez takes the handoff. 45 to the 50. Flags come flying in as he passes just past the 50-yard line and brought down by Hanson, Bradshaw, and Lamoureux at the 49. One flag at midfield and the other one on the near sideline as Kemmerer's going from left to right, and it's holding on the Rangers, pushing them back from the spot. Wait for the foul as where it's at. It looks like it's right at about the line of scrimmage. Maybe just a little bit behind to go back to the 37-yard line. So it was right at the line of scrimmage. They bump him back 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So ball at the 37. They need to get it across the 50 and then down to the 43-yard line. Brings up 2nd down and 20. Schramm under center. Julian motions out left side. That's the way the pitch goes to Martinez. Gets another good block from Julian from the 40 to the 43-yard line where a couple of blue tacklers come in. Hagen Lamoureux in on the tackle. Hanson Bradshaw in as well. And Preston Brewer. All three helping to take down Martinez after a modest gain. Ball placed at the 44-yard line. Give him a gain of 7 on the play. At the 10th carry of the day for Martinez. Coming into the week, AQ had 10 carries for 38 yards in the week before in the loss to the Riverton JV. Shotgun snap awaiting. It's right, belt high, roll out right side. Man in motion out to the right at the 50-yard line. Pass is completed to Martinez. That's the 2nd completion of the day as Lamoureux brings Martinez down at the spot of the completion. 4th down on the play. The ball marked at the 50-yard line. Put him a gain of about 7 on the play there. And Kemmerer will punt. So no try for it on 4th down and 6. Schramm punts it at the 25-yard line. It bounces back a couple of yards in Lyman's favor and touchdown at about the 27-yard line. So after a couple of first downs, a punt is the result of this Kemmerer drive as well. 8:21 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 22-0 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. First and 10, low snap. Carter Smith hands off to Lamoureux at the 35-yard line. Lamoureux gets brought down from behind by Coulter Julian. And also in on the tackle, Nano Rickard. Give him about 5-6 yards on the carry, maybe 7. Ball marked at the 36-yard line. On the 33 is a direct snap to Smith. And close to a first down, they'll give it to him. A gain of 5 there, needed 3. So a pickup of 7 and 5 for Lamoureux, followed by Smith. $123 yards for Lamoureux. Shotgun formation, ball spotted at the 41-yard line. Hand off to Lamoureux up the right side and had some room to work as he breaks last one tackle to the 45-yard line and brought down right there. Nearly shook a defender and then was off to the races, but got brought down by Easton Rydstrom there out on the end side. Ball marked at the 45-yard line, a gain of 4 on the play. 2nd down and 6. Make it 127 yards for Lamoureux. 2nd down and 6, shotgun form. Low snap, handed off, no, kept by Carter Smith. Fooled everyone to the 50, 45, 40-yard line. Stiff arms a man to his right in Campman, but Jake Campman holds on and brings him down at the 37-yard line. A great fake there from the 45 down to the 36-yard line, gain of 23. If that's the case, looks like that is the spot. Mark it at the 37-yard line. Gain of 22 there for Smith. $104 yards for Smith. Shotgun form, man in motion from the left to right. Actually, that was Lamoureux taking a low snap, but false start. Illegal motion for Lyman, pulls them back 5 yards. Puts them back to the 41-yard line. First down and 15. Need to get it down to the 27-yard line, it looks like. And 26 maybe. There's no real hash marks in here, so when you're in between the half yards, it's hard to say. Direct snap again. Lamoureux to the 40, 35, 30, 25, 15. Breaks a tackle at the ankles and into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown Eagles. And another score for Lyman. Has them pitching the shutout and scoring on their first drive from scrimmage in the third quarter. Puts it up to 28-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. $41-yard run by Lamoureux on this direct snap. Low throw, going for two, roll out right side and into the hands of Palmer. Carter Smith completes the two-point conversion. And Blake Palmer with the catch to make it an even 30-0 on the board. A big run by Lamoureux, capped off by the two-point conversion, has the Lyman Eagles leading Kemmerer 30-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. We'll be back with more of third quarter action on this First Bank presentation of Lyman Eagles football on K9 Radio and MyLocalRadio.com.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. Orthopedic surgery is the practice of medicine centered around bones and joints. It's all about movement and activity and getting that to be less painful. Watching a patient with a specific problem, whether that's pain or decreased range of motion, and being able to treat them, by far the best part of my job.
$30-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard as Blake Palmer hauls in the two-point conversion from Carter Smith. 25 yards on a couple of receptions there. I'm going to go ahead and count them in the stats. I'm not sure exactly how that goes because I haven't dealt with too many two-point conversions in my Evanston days. But today we're going to go ahead and add that in and call that his fourth completion of the day for Carter Smith. A 41-yard run by Hagen Lamoureux, his third touchdown run of the day and second of 40-plus yards. He also had one of 50 yards in the first half. Ball tipped over on the tee. Time on the clock, 6:14. So a pretty quick drive this time. 2 minutes and 7 seconds for that touchdown as they go 63 yards this time in pretty quick fashion. A little squib kick fielded at nowhere. Nobody fielded it. Lyman may have picked up the onside kick at the 31-yard line. Down on the pile, Richie Brewer looked like he had a stake in it. There's a pile at the center, and Lyman reacts. They have recovered a squib-modified onside kick at about the 31-yard line. Who came up with the football? Getting slapped on the back is number 34 there. That's Cody Richardson. I saw Brewer in there as well, but I think Richardson, the guy actually coming up with the ball. So the Lyman Eagles take back over on offense after the onside. Caught Kemmerer off guard, caught me off guard at the 31-yard line. A chance to step on the throat here of Kemmerer, up 30-0. Low snap, roll out right by Smith. Pressure coming in. Continues to his progressions, throws it complete at the 20, make it the 16-yard line, but a flag came in. Brewer in on the catch, that number 19, Preston Brewer, but a flag of holding against Lyman takes away the play. So instead of a gain of 15 yards, they will back it up 10 from the mark of the foul, and that could be a big one considering that it was a long rollout behind the line of scrimmage by Carter Smith. And the referee continues to walk the ball back. The line of scrimmage was the 31, all the way back to the 46. So a 15-yard penalty there. Down to the 46-yard line. Need to get to the 21-yard line. Second down, or first down and 20 plus. Run it up the middle. Get close to the 40-yard line. Brought down about the 41 or 2-yard line. And a direct quarterback keeper was Smith taking it up there. Ball marked at the 42. Give him a gain of 4 on the play. 108 yards by Carter Smith. Doesn't necessarily have the top-end speed that Lamoureux has shown off today, but Carter Smith, a strong and powerful runner right up the middle. Ball marked at the 42-yard line. Second down and a mile. Roll out left, looking to throw. Has to tuck it as the pressure comes in. And sacked. Brought down there by number 72, Nano Rickert, with the takedown. And that pulls back Lyman even farther. Third down and 2 miles now. Back to the 46-yard line they go. A loss of 4 yards on the sack there. Nano Rickert with the first sack today for Kemmerer. Preston Brewer has 2 for Lyman. And they need to get the ball down to the 21. It's third down and 25 to go. Low shotgun snap, roll out right side, now fake. Lamoureux caught everyone off guard on the draw. 35, 30, 25, 20-yard line through 2 defenders at the 15-yard line. He gets upended, but his elbow still isn't down. Now finally brought down at about the 12-yard line. A long delay and a little handoff. Here you go from Carter Smith to Hagen Lamoureux as he was rolling out to the right. Everybody followed Smith, and nobody was left to try and defend Hagen Lamoureux. The ball marked down at the 13-yard line. A rush of 33 yards on the play as his total continues to balloon, now up over 200 yards on 14 carries. Shotgun snap. Awaiting is Smith. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Direct snap keeper. Smith runs through a hole of the left and right guards, and it's into the end zone for a touchdown. In to score from 12 yards out is Carter Smith to make it 36-0. Put him at the 13-yard touchdown run for Carter Smith. 117 yards for him on 16 carries. His first touchdown of the day. And go for 2. Low snap, look out left side, has a man on the screen, completed. Driving in, trying to push his way into the end zone. Richie Brewer with the catch and the 2-point conversion. 2 more yards added on. 38-0 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Lyman running all over Kemmerer. And we'll come back with more third quarter action. 4:07 left in the quarter on this First Bank presentation of Lyman football on mylocalradio.com.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
This certainly the shortest drive of the day yardage-wise for Kemmerer, but in all, they started with the ball on their own the Kemmerer 31-yard line, but it ends up being a 46-yard drive due to penalties and sacks. They got it brought back to the 46 on an opening penalty on a little run play, and then it was a little bit of yardage forward, and then Carter Smith got sacked, and on third and long, a long run by Hagen Lamoureux on a beautifully designed and executed halfback draw out of the shotgun. That went for 33 yards to set Lyman up with 1st and 10 on the 13-yard line. And like he does, Carter Smith took the direct snap, lowered his head, and worked his way into the end zone to make the score 38-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Kickoff fielded at the 25-yard line for Kemmerer and out to the 33-yard line. Riggin Walker, the man with that kick return in place of Coulter Julian, who was replaced in the first half after a couple of bobbles there. So Kemmerer now gets its second drive of the third quarter with 4:02 remaining. Their first one resulted in a punt. Ball is marked at the 35-yard line. Loaded up box for the defense. Schramm under center. Looks out right, then hands off to Julian up the middle. 35-yard line, working his way to the left. Sia Blue comes in, maybe out to the 37-yard line, but that is about it. Give him a gain of a couple. They mark him for a generous spot there out to the 34-yard line, or the 38-yard line. A gain of 3 yards by Julian. 49 yards for Coulter on 6 carries. Schramm under center and handoff this time backfield to Martinez at the 40-yard line. Works outside the tackles to the 45. Breaks a tackle on a stiff arm out to the 50-yard line. Sent Blake Palmer down to the ground, and he's still down. Now starting to get up. Looked like for a second he was working out a kink. Out to the 50-yard line the play goes. A gain of 12 yards on a tough run from A.Q. Martinez, his 11th carry of the day. First down and 10 to go for Kemmerer. Being shut out 38-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard by Lyman. Schramm again under center. Hands off left side to the back man. It's Julian across the 50. And, we got some extracurriculars after that. A late hit, but nothing called there, letting him play there. Out to the 47-yard line. Briggs Richards got hit hard by a Kemmerer offensive lineman who I did not see. After all that, ball marks at the 47-yard line and a gain of 3. 3 more yards for Coulter Julian. 52 yards for him. I'm on 7 carries. Ball across the 50 now for Kemmerer. Still looking for their opening. Our first drive to go for a score of the day. Under center is Schramm. Loaded up box and a keeper, it looks like. Can't quite tell. Yes, it was a keeper by Schramm, and he gets driven back. Gain of nothing. Third down and make it. They do give him 1.5 yards on the play. Looked like Carter Smith was in on the tackle there. Ball marked at the 45-yard line. They mark him for a +2. Some forward progress by Dawson Schramm. He has 3 carries, now finally up to 0 yards, and that's not accounting the couple of times he's been sacked for the day. I didn't catch those, didn't mark those down in time. Third down and 5, ball in the 45-yard line. Hand off to the right side. It's A.Q. Martinez. Breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Out hit forward to the 40-yard line. It's close to first down yardage, but it'll be just a bit short, it looks like. And maybe a generous spot here. They need to get it right to the 40, and they push him forward, move the chains. Right at the 40-yard line, the ball goes. A gain of 5 yards is what they needed, and that's what they got. Sure didn't look like he got it, but he must have pushed the ball forward before he went out of bounds. 38-0 the score, 1:33 remaining in the third quarter. Schramm under center again. 2 back set, 1 wing back, and a receiver on either side. Early movement and a false start called against Kemmerer pushes them back 5 yards to the 45-yard line. First and 15 upcoming with 1:22. The clock stops. Mentioned the opportunity that Lyman had today to start 2-0 in the conference season. They're well in line to do that if they can hold on here, and then next week they get a non-conference meeting against Cokeville before going on the road against Lovell. Under center on first and 15, Julian out of center to the left side. Handoff pitch, left side to Martinez. Breaks 2 tackles, 40-yard line, 40, 35, down to the 30. He may have gotten all 15 needed on the carry. Quick move and a great lead block by Coulter Julian as he gets exactly that, 15 yards for the first down. 100-yard marker has been surpassed by AQ Martinez. 104 yards on, by my count, 13 carries. First and 10, ball marked on the 30-yard line. 30 yards from pay dirt for Kemmerer, trailing 38-0. Schramm looked out left side, handed off to Julian, and he got some space out to the 20-yard line. It was a while before I could even see who they handed off to, as Schramm had faked a couple, but another 10-yard gain. Just shy, it looks like, of the first down marker. Second down in inches. Give him 9 yards on the carry then for Julian, who is at 61 yards through 8 carries. Down to the final 15 seconds left. Kemmerer in out of the huddle. Second down and 1. Ball marked at about the 20-yard line. Pitch right side. Martinez bobbles it, picks it back up. Gets that first down yarder. Now looking for a couple of more. Brought down by Cash Taggart, but down at about the 17-yard line. The third quarter has ended. First and 10. When we come back, Kemmerer pressuring and trying to score, down 38-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. When we come back, Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance, fourth quarter. When we return, this is a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com.
We hope you're enjoying this MyLocalRadio.com exclusive broadcast of Bridger Valley Sports. We love being able to travel around the state to bring the action on the field or court back to you watching at home. Let's face it, doing all of this would not be possible without all of our great sponsors. We appreciate the support the following businesses and individuals show to both Mountain View and Lyman Sports. Dr. McKay Frankham, quality dental care at affordable prices. Yeager's Auto Body. For nearly 45 years, Yeager's Auto Body in Green River has been at the top of the game in auto repair. West Star Printing in Evanston. No matter what you want printed, West Star is where you want it done. Reese Auto Service. From lawnmowers and snowblowers to cars, trucks, and semis, Reese Auto Service in Lyman does it all. Trona Valley Credit Union, member NCUA. Plains Tire in Evanston, Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer. Thank you to all of our Bridger Valley sports sponsors.
Fourth quarter beginning, brought to you by Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance, 307-789-5489, the number to call. Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance in Evanston, serving the Bridger Valley and all of southwest Wyoming. First down and 10 at the 18-yard line for Kemmerer. Down 38-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Man in motion to the right side. AQ Martinez may have got called for illegal motion as a flag flies in at the snap. Coach Dale Anderson calling his boys out and a timeout taken. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe got a timeout taken. So we will keep it right here as we wait for that. Looks like it was just a flag flying to let know that there was a timeout just before the snap, so nobody got hurt on a non-play. 11:59, 1 second into the fourth quarter. Lyman on top, 38-0 on that Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Join us tomorrow from Rawlins, Wyoming, as we take a couple 100-mile trip over, I guess maybe 150, 160-mile trip over east to the Rawlins Invitational, where every 3A program will be at for day 2 action of that Rawlins Volleyball Invite. We'll be bringing you what we can for both Lyman and Mountain View Volleyball live from the Rawlins Invite tomorrow. Times very in air, fluctuating for that. It's a rolling schedule, so we'll do what we can. Follow us on Facebook, My Local Radio. Go to We Are MV or Lyman Eagles or LymanHighSchool.com. We'll try to tag that as well. Back on play, AQ Martinez takes a handoff to the right side. He moves through a couple of blockers and gets out to the 15 where he's brought down for a gain of 3 yards. Second down and 7. That carry number 15 of the day for AQ. 109 on the day. Obviously no touchdowns for either or any Kemmerer Ranger. Hagan Lamoureux with 3, Carter Smith with a couple and a throwing one. Under center is Schramm, man in motion left. Julian gave the lead blocker, handoff to Martinez through a pitch. In past the 15-yard line down to about the 13. Martinez goes limp like a fish and then waits for the defenders who tackled him down to get up, and then he pops right back up and set up for a 3rd down and 4. Gain of 3 again for AQ. 112 yards. Ball marked on the 13-yard line. Need to get to the 9-yard line, it looks like. 3rd down and 4, just beyond 5. Schramm under center. Martinez moving to his right, takes the pitch, has the lead block of Julian. It's a good one. Gets to the edge at the 10. Down at the 6-yard line. 1st and goal upcoming after a great run by AQ Martinez and good edge blocking by the Kemmerer Ranger offense. Getting that Lyman defense. 10:34 left as the clock stops on the 1st down. Time of the clock, 2:39 p.m. here on KNYN 99.1 FM. Gain of 7 yards on the carry. AQ certainly the workhorse in this Kemmerer offense. Ball marked at the 6-yard line. Schramm is in the shotgun, 1 back either side. Martinez to his left, Julian to his right. 1 receiver to the right side and 2 to the left. Man in motion outside. Direct snap out to Schramm. He takes it, tries to get inside the end zone himself. Stuffed up after a gain of about 1/2 of a yard. Looks like he got to about the 5-yard line. And on 4 carries, Schramm is now up to 1 yard. Well, if you take away those 2 sacks, which would still have him in the hole, and he probably lost about 10, 12 yards combined on those 2 sacks. 2nd down and goal at the 5-yard line. This is the Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance 4th quarter. Jeff knows the insurance game, serving the Bridger Valley, Evanston, in southwest Wyoming. Give him a call at 307-789-5489, your local Farmers agent. Jeff Piper in Evanston. Shotgun form again at the 5-yard line. Man out of the backfield in motion. Schramm goes to the left, pitches out to AQ. At the 5-yard line, he cuts back in, dives forward, looking for the end zone. It's close. Was he in? No. Stopped a 1/2 inch short. The official on the near side of the goal called it immediately, and we have, right at the goal, 3rd down and inches to go for a score. Mark it as a 4-yard gain for Martinez. He has 123 on the day. This is obviously 2-down territory, or 4-down territory here for Kemmerer. 2 to go to get it in. Down 38-0, probably playing for pride here at 8:45 left in the Jeff Piper Farmers Insurance 4th quarter. And a direct snap upcoming. Looks like, oh no, Schramm is under center. Excuse me, up forward. He hands off, looking for the push forward. Did they get in? It looks like a signal from both sides, a touchdown for Kemmerer. And the ball handler appeared to be number 24, but it could have also been number 21, Riggin Walker. See who comes off the field there. Julian is who I'm going to give it to. Looks like it was Coulter Julian on the touchdown. And they will go for an extra point, it appears. 1-yard touchdown run. Confirm if that was Julian or not over the break. 38-6. Kick is up, and with those short goalposts, it's a little hard to tell, but it is good. 38-7, the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard as we continue coverage of the Jeff Piper Farmers Insurance 4th quarter next. Lyman on top of Kemmerer on this First Bank presentation of Eagles football on MyLocalRadio.com.
Making an informed decision when you choose coverage for you, your family, and your home is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Jeff Piper, Farmers Insurance agent in Evanston, is here to help you get the coverage that is right for you at the best value. Find out how much you can save each month when you combine home, auto, and life insurance. Call Jeff Piper with Farmers Insurance at 307-789-5489 or stop in at 341 Front Street in Evanston. Jeff Piper, Farmers Insurance.
65-yard touchdown run for, let me try that over. 65-yard touchdown drive for the Kemmerer Rangers, capped off by a 1-yard and maybe 1-inch touchdown run by Coulter Julian. Has Kemmerer on the board, but still trailing mightily to the Lyman Eagles. 38-7 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. And do we have a onside kick upcoming? Well, Lyman had one of those at a surprise in the third quarter. Lyman has not had a drive in the fourth. In all, they've had 6, and that includes the back-to-back touchdown drives of 63 yards and 46 yards as a result of that onside kick. That was Kemmerer's 6th drive of the game. That's what happens when you get a lot of running from both sides, and on top of that, in Lyman's case and stretches, a lot of extending those drives, first down. That being said, Lyman's had some big strike ability today. Hagen Lamoureux has had runs 23, 25, he's 50. He's had that run of, we had another touchdown run, 41 yards out as well. And Kemmerer does opt to just kick it out deep, fielded at the 10-yard line, moving up the middle, cutting back and getting out to the edge at the 30-yard line. On the way, Richie Brewer, 35-yard line where he's pushed out of bounds. A great kickoff return of about 25 yards for Brewer, the senior. 5'9", 151-pound senior Richie Brewer, a cornerback on defense and a wide receiver on offense. Had one catch last week for 9 yards. As today, one catch for 2 yards. 4 completions by my count to Carter Smith's name. He went 7 of 12 with a touchdown and 3 interceptions last week. He does not have an interception in this game, and Lyman has not had a turnover as a whole. This drive starts at the 38-yard line. On the shotgun, Smith hands off to Lamoureux to the 40, 45, and out to the 48-yard line, close to the 50, and it was Braxton Saby on the carry there, number 14, not number 12. First time we've seen today that it has not been number 12 in that backfield, so Braxton Saby getting a little time. Listed as the backup running back. Out to the 48. And quarterback keeper to the 44-yard line. Brings up about 2nd down and 3 to go with a 7-yard gain by Carter Smith. He had an 11-yard run for Saby. And ball marked at the 46-yard line, 44-yard line, just across the 45. 2nd down and mark it as 6 to go. 4 to go. 6-yard gain. My goodness. Shotgun snap for Smith is a little high. He keeps it and gets stuck right at the line of scrimmage by Nano Rickert, but then spins him around and may have led to some forward progress as the whistles did not blow immediately on the stick. A loss and a stick may have resulted in a gain of 2 and actually helped out Lyman just a little bit. They do give him a yard. Yeah, maybe half a yard. Mark it still has 3rd down and 4 to go. Smith awaiting the shotgun. Man to his left. 2 receivers to the right. Hand off to Saby. He pushes forward right of the guard and is just shy of the 1st down yardage at about the 41-yard line. 2nd carry for Saby. Brings up 4th down and 1 to go. Would imagine Lyman with 6:35 left on the clock would absolutely go for it here. And a quarterback keeper, Carter Smith has got it. Big gain of about 5 yards, barreling the offensive line forward with Smith behind pushing the way. Mark a gain of 5 down to the 35-yard line. Lyman started the drive right about the 35-yard line. Kemmerer coming off a 65-yard touchdown drive themselves. Down to 6 minutes to play. Shotgun form, 2 receivers right side. Handoff Saby at the 35-yard line. He works through a couple of defenders and gets maybe a yard or 2. 2 flags come in at the end of the play. And they were both on the Kemmerer side. Looks like it's maybe a face mask, would be my guess. And that is the call. Gain of 2 yards and add on 5 with the incidental contact. Brings up first down and, well, it hasn't moved the chain or haven't moved the marker on the far side. Bring up second down and 3 to go. Need to flip that over on that far side. A little marker in the first down territory. Carter Smith keeps it at the 27-yard line and gets across the 25 up to the 24. Gain of 3 yards for Smith and a first down. 5:48 to go, and Lyman worked 7 minutes of clock last week in a win over Pinedale. And from their own 10-yard line all the way down, and they did not score, but they ran that clock out. That's just as good as they were able to win 20-12. Bigger lead here today. Shotgun snap, handed off, and Saby eaten up in the backfield. Ripped down by Matt McMillan and the interior lineman for the Kemmerer Rangers. And that results in a hefty loss of about 3 or 4 yards. Ball marked at the 27-yard line. Mark him for a loss of 3. That was Saby on the carry. Brings up second down and about 14 yards to go. 4:56 as the clock continues to tick. Carter Smith, quarterback keeper, up to the 25-yard line, then down to about the 22 as he barrels his way forward. Put him in for a gain of about 5 on the carry. And the ball is marked right about, let's say, the 22-yard line. 5 more on the board for Carter Smith. 136 yards for the junior quarterback. That was his 20th carry of the day. Ball at the 22-yard line. 2 receivers split to the right side. Saby, the back, to the left of Smith. He keeps it himself. Pushing forward for that first down yard is not quite going to get there. It was about 3rd and 8 to make it about 4th down and 6 yards, maybe 7 to go. So give him a gain of about 2 yards on the carry is all. Ball marked at the 19-yard line. Don't see why you'd worry too much if you're Lyman. You don't have a field goal kicker. You're up by 31 points, so why not with 3:35? Go for it here in the shotgun form. Smith, hands off to Saby. Turnover on downs is inevitable here as he's stuffed up at the middle after a gain of about 1. But give it back to the Kemmerer Rangers with about 3:26 left on the clock is all. Put Saby down for 5 carries and 15 yards, and his garbage time play and some productive yards here. He had a bigger run of 11 yards to start things off, and then the defense clamped down a little bit. Drive stalls at the Kemmerer 20-yard line. Actually a little shy of that. Kemmerer 18-yard line. And just 3:26 left in the game. Kemmerer comes back out down 31 points. Schramm is under center. 1 receiver either side, 2 wingbacks. Schramm hands off out right side, about to the 20-yard line, and it looks like a new back there. Did not look like number 3, A.Q. Martinez. May have been number 17. Maybe number 15. Number 12 was the man on the carry there. That was Clayton Peepo. Had a gain of 2. And this time out, another handoff to the 27-yard line. Quentin Rosas with the carry for a first down. Gain of 8 on the play for Rosas. Two carries by 2 new guys out there. Number 2 and 3 in that depth chart for the wingback position. And Kemmerer running that clock down to 2:35, getting a couple of new guys in. It's Peepo on the left back, wing back, and again, Roses on the right. Roses takes the carry out to the left on a pitch at the 30-yard line, out to the 32-yard line. Gain of a couple on the play. Give him down 2 more yards on 2 carries for Roses. They mark him out all the way to the, wow, that's a generous carry. The sideline must have extended farther than my eyes saw. They mark him for a gain of 5. 2nd down and 5 is, there's a new quarterback in as well. Dawson Schramm raced to the sidelines just before that. So it's number 7, Tommy Skidmore, in at quarterback. Move to the left side, and Skidmore fakes a couple of runs, then takes it himself at the 40-yard line. He rushes outside the tackle to the 42, brought down by a couple of Eagles with 1:35 left. And Skidmore with a couple of yards on the 2nd down and 5, gets it out to the 43-yard line for a gain of, let's say, 8. Clock down to 1:20 as Kemmerer heads to the line of scrimmage. Skidmore at quarterback. Roses and Peepo, the wing backs. Pitch out left side. It's to Roses at the 40-yard line, to the 45. Breaks a tackle. Cuts back in at the 50. Out to the 46-yard line. He's brought down across the 50 on the tackle. There was number 32, McCoy Smith. Ball was at and down to the 46-yard line. A gain of 19 on the play, on the carry for Roses. He's up to 32 yards. Down to the 46-yard line. Carry by Roses there. Quentin Roses, a sophomore. Peepo to his left, in motion over to the right. It's a handoff up the middle to Roses again. Breaks the tackle up into the 2nd level. Out to the 40-yard line. He's brought down. Gain of 6. Down to the final 35 seconds. Maybe the last play, maybe one more to go. Either way, we will come back with post-game coverage, run you through what happened today in this Jeff Piper Farmers Insurance 4th quarter. It's been a little bit slow moving. A lot of running, and a 38-7 advantage for Lyman. Pitch out right side. It's Peepo in the backfield. Breaks through a tackle out to the 40-yard line, back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. And 8 seconds left. That does it for the Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance of Evanston 4th quarter. The final score, Lyman 38, Kemmerer 7. An absolute drubbing as the Lyman Eagles advance on to 2-0 in the conference season. In week 2 of the season, they have made a statement. They are 2-0. The Kemmerer Rangers fall to 0-1 in the conference year, 0-2 overall. As for next week, Lyman's next challenge, and a good barometer for how this season will continue. How do they perform next week against Cokeville? But today it's celebration all the way around here in Uintah County as the Lyman Eagles have advanced on to 2-0 in the conference season and look ahead to 4 more to go. This has been the Jeff Piper Farmers Insurance of Evanston 4th quarter. 307-789-5489, the number to call. Jeff Piper in Evanston, your local farmer's agent. He's got home, life, renters, autos, RV, ATV insurance. Jeff will break it all down for you so it makes sense and you can figure out how to best protect what is most important to you. This has been 4th quarter action on a First Bank presentation of Lyman football. Back with postgame next on mylocalradio.com.
Making an informed decision when you choose coverage for you, your family, and your home is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Jeff Piper, Farmers Insurance Agent in Evanston, is here to help you get the coverage that is right for you at the best value. Find out how much you can save each month when you combine home, auto, and life insurance. Call Jeff Piper with Farmers Insurance at 307-789-5489 or stop in at 341 Front Street in Evanston. Jeff Piper, Farmers Insurance. If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
Hello, this is Dr. McKay Frankham. Something I've really enjoyed as a dentist over the past 20 years are the lasting friendships that I've formed with many of my patients. My staff is really great, and we try hard to make sure that every patient feels a warm welcome. It doesn't matter if it's your first visit or if you've been with us for years. Every patient is welcome and always appreciated. Our goal is to provide the best dental care possible at reasonable rates. Please call us today to schedule your appointment at 307-789-8910.
Go Red Devils!
We hope you're enjoying this MyLocalRadio.com exclusive broadcast of Bridger Valley Sports. We love being able to travel around the state to bring the action on the field or court back to you watching at home. Let's face it, doing all of this would not be possible without all of our great sponsors. We appreciate the support the following businesses and individuals show to both Mountain View and Lyman Sports. Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness. Whatever it is you need, Bradshaw's can probably help. The Come On In of Casper. When it comes time to cheer on your Buffs or Eagles at state, the Come On In is your best bet for a great night's stay. Auto Farm Chevrolet in Evanston. General Manager Dennis Lynch invites you to come and experience a community-driven dealership. Evanston Regional Hospital. Quality health care close to home. Bridger Valley Motor. Got a check engine light blinking? Don't guess at what the problem is. Take it to Slim at Bridger Valley Motor in Lyman. And Achieve Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. No excuses, just results. Thank you to all of our Bridger Valley sports sponsors.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
Welcome back. Post-game here from Lyman High School as it's time now to hand out the Dr. McKay Frankham Precision Play of the Game. And it was not the easiest things to do today, but I'm going to go with the play that really broke it open and showed the explosiveness of this Lyman offense today. That 50-yard touchdown run late in the second quarter by Hagen Lamoureux that put the Eagles up another touchdown. That was on the play. That was that made it 22-0 the score at the half, and that came in on a 76-yard drive for Lyman to put them up on what ended up being a blowout day, 38-7 the final on the scoreboard there, brought to you by Freshly, by Benedict's Market and True Value. Appreciate them joining the sponsorship team here in the Bridger Valley. Let's run you through some stats here is after we hand out, like I said, that Dr. McKay Frankham Precision Play of the Game. Again, going to Hagen Lamoureux, that 50-yard touchdown run. Let's start right with Hagen as he led the way on the ground today. 14 carries and 3 touchdowns, 201 yards in all for Hagen. Carter Smith with 21 carries in the game. That puts him at a 2-game total at 49 carries through 2 contests. He finished with 138 yards and a couple of touchdowns as well. He had a touchdown run of 13 yards in the third quarter, and he had a touchdown throw of 23 yards in the first quarter to, that was Blake Palmer. Throwing for Smith, he had 38 yards, and that's in counting a couple of 2-point conversion, so 34 yards really on just a couple of completions. Big 23-yard pass and a nice one to Blake Palmer, beat single coverage into the end zone. Richard Brewer had a catch for 2 yards, and Preston Brewer with a catch for 9 yards. In the game, other runners, Braxton Saby came in a little bit late in the contest, 15 yards on 5 carries by my count, and then -1 yards on 1 carry for Preston Brewer on the day. Let me double check and make sure that was Preston on that carry there. And yes, it was Preston Brewer on that carry for -1 yards. Actually, no, it was Richard Brewer. It was Richard Brewer. I wanted to double check on that one. Preston did not get a carry today. For the Lyman offense as a whole, 38 passing yards, 354 rushing yards on 392 total yards. And that's how they got their 38 points total on that final. For the Kemmerer Rangers side, let's run it through individually. Right now, A.Q. Martinez led the way, 72 yards for him on the ground. Coulter Julian with the one to get a touchdown on 9 carries. He got a 1-yard push into the end zone, 62 yards in all for him. Dawson Schramm had a handful of carries, finished with in the negatives after a couple of sacks. 38 yards from Quentin Rosas on 4 carries in garbage time. As for Peepo as well, Clayton Peepo got a couple of carries for 2 yards, and Tommy Skidmore got 1 carry for 8 yards. Just 2 completions for Dawson Schramm for 22 yards. Both of them went to A.Q. Martinez, 1 of 7 yards and 1 of 15 in that total. Let's take one more break and then come back here and continue post-game coverage next on this First Bank presentation of Lyman Eagles football on mylocalradio.com with the simulcast on KNYN 99.1 FM.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on mylocalradio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live.
38-7, the final score on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard as we welcome you back to post-game coverage here from Lyman, Wyoming. The Lyman Eagles jump out to 2-0 on the conference season, and as we mentioned a couple of times throughout the broadcast, now get a 1-week break before going back into conference play next week. It is the Cokeville Panthers, where they travel to Cokeville. We'll have that broadcast for you again, a 12:20 pregame for that contest with a 1 o'clock kickoff. That's a good measuring stick for Lyman as they are at 2-0 in the conference season now. They get that 1 week against Cokeville, then back into it with a road trip to Lovell, then 1 week off a Thursday contest with Star Valley before finishing with the month of October 11th, 18th, and 24th against Mountain View, Graybull, and Big Piney. We'll be back in action in mylocalradio.com tomorrow with some volleyball contests for you to bring your way on mylocalradio.com. Again, I can't stress it enough. I don't know when these games are going to happen. It's a rolling schedule, so if you would like to know, I would like to know as well. The best thing I can do is say get on My Local Radio's Facebook page. Like us there. We're going to give you the updates as best we know. Say, hey, we're going on about that time. Check us online at mylocalradio.com. Subscribe to us if you're a YouTube. If you have a YouTube account, and I think if you have a Google account, you have a YouTube account, go ahead and subscribe to us, and then that'll let you know when a video goes live as well. That's the best thing I can tell you to do for that, because rolling schedules, volleyball tournaments, they're always a mess, but there should be a lot of good action happening tomorrow of Lyman and Mountain View taking on every single 3A team in the state. Not that they get to play every one of them, but every 3A volleyball team is at Rollins. So a lot of good action, whether it's silver bracket or gold bracket tomorrow between Lyman and Mountain View potentially happening in those contests. We'll take one more break, then run you through the drive charts as we saw that game unfold today. 38-7, the final on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Lyman moves to 2-0 on the season. Kemmerer falls to 0-2. Back on this First Bank presentation next with more post-game coverage. This is Lyman Eagles football on KNY and 99.1 FM and online at mylocalradio.com.
The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio is back for another year with a bit of a twist. Join me, Jake Hibbard, as I transition from covering Evanston and becoming the voice of the Mountain View Buffs and Lyman Eagles.
I'll be live every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. with news, analysis, and guests as we focus on the Bridger Valley and beyond. We'll cover the happenings around the area and across the state landscape. We would also like to welcome onto the show as a regular this year, Dennis Lynch of Auto Farm Chevrolet. Join us every Wednesday on KNY and 99.1 FM in the Evanston listening area for the Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. If you can't catch it then, don't worry. We'll post all the episodes up to mylocalradio.com, or you can also find it by searching and subscribing to the Wyoming Prep Podcast on iTunes or Google Play. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio, presented by Auto Farm Chevrolet, every Wednesday, August through March on KNY and 99.1 FM in Evanston, or online anytime at mylocalradio.com, or of course at the Wyoming Prep Podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. Come join in on the fun. Back here post-game and closing it out with one final segment. Let's run you through what happened today in this game one last time. A 38-7 victory for the Lyman Eagles over Kemmerer on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Again, that Dr. McKay Franklin Precision play of the game went to Hagen Lamoureux with a 50-yard touchdown run. He had over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in today's game. Well, the game started off with Lyman starting at their own 28-yard line, and it was a quick 3-and-out. It looked like it may be 3 yards in a cloud of dust for both these teams off the first couple of drives, off that first drive as Lyman went ahead and punted it off to Kemmerer. That was fielded at the 19-yard line, and Kemmerer ended up getting some yardage across the 50-yard line, whoosh, pushing, but Hagen Lamoureux came away with an interception at 6:09 left in the first quarter to give the ball back to the Eagles, and it was all Lyman after that. A 77-yard drive was capped off by a 23-yard touchdown from Carter Smith to Blake Palmer to make it 8-0 after the extra points were earned. Then Kemmerer started to stall with a turnover on downs. They got it all the way down to their 20-yard line, to the Lyman 20-yard line, but was unable to get a first down and continue to push to the end zone. So Lyman took over at their own 20-yard line and then proceeded to drive all 80 yards needed for down to the end zone, capped off by a 6-yard touchdown run by Hagen Lamoureux, his first of the day that would be 3. Then Kemmerer got it back late in the first quarter. And that was late in the second quarter. And they went 3-and-out with 5:36. They got it, went 3-and-out, gave back to Lyman. And it was a 50-yard touchdown run, that Dr. McKay Franklin precision play of the game, that gave on 4th down and 1 a lead extended to 22-0 for the Lyman Eagles. Lamoureux with his second touchdown of the day. Then we went to 3-and-out by Kemmerer, as that was their final drive of the first half. On to the second half. Kemmerer got it off, fielded at the 29-yard line to start off the third quarter, but didn't get very far, got 1 first down, and then punted off to Lyman, who drove 63 yards in 2 minutes and 7 seconds, capped off by Hagen Lamoureux's 41-yard score, his third touchdown of the day. Then it was an onside kick fielded by Lyman as they punched it down to about the 31-yard line. Kemmerer was caught off guard, and it was recovered. Again, I didn't catch that number exactly, but I think it may have been McCoy Smith who actually fell on that onside recovery. A penalty by Lyman backed him up to the 46-yard line. They got a few yards more, got sacked, did Carter Smith, his only sack given up of the game, back to the 46-yard line. But, again, 4th down, just moving the chains. Lyman was able to drive all 46 yards needed, even though they got the ball at their Kemmerer 31, capped off by a 13-yard touchdown, I should say, by Carter Smith, his second overall touchdown of the day. Kemmerer then got their first touchdown and only touchdown with a 1-yard run by Coulter Julian with a couple of minutes left in the third quarter. They got the drive at about 4:02, and actually that went into the fourth quarter. We went 65 yards on that drive for Kemmerer to make it 38-7. Lyman's final drive was a turnover on downs as they continued to move deep into Kemmerer territory, but weren't too worried about trying a field goal or anything like that. Not that they have a kicker to try that anyways. They just were worried about running the clock out and gave the ball back to Kemmerer with about 2.5 minutes left to go. Kemmerer would pull their quarterback, their running backs, kind of playing the second string the last couple of minutes, and that was the end of the game. And that is it for us today. We are back tomorrow on mylocalradio.com with more volleyball action, Mountain View and Lyman at the Rollins Invitational. And I'm back next week sticking with Lyman. We'll have a 12:20 pregame again live from Cokeville, Wyoming with a 1 o'clock kickoff. The Lyman Eagles move to 1-0 on the season. Moved to 2-0 on the season after a Week 1 win over Pinedale and a Week 2 victory over Kemmerer. They get an off week next week from the conference season, but we'll see how they compete against the Panthers. For everyone back in the studio, thanks to AJ running the board for us today. Let's send you back to music on the station. I'm Jake Hibbard. We'll catch you tomorrow on mylocalradio.com for Buffs and Eagles action.
The preceding has been a wholly owned production of mylocalradio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Old West Media. Today's executive producer is Val Cook. We appreciate you tuning in to this mylocalradio.com exclusive of Lyman Eagles Athletics. We would like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors and partners who make this all possible. And of course, thank you for tuning in. Check out our website for more information about future Lyman broadcasts or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the games. Until next time, go Eagles!